my name is Kim, and in this reading, we are going to find out what it is that you can expect and or look forward to in the area of life, of love and relationships for the first half of 2025, which will be from January all the way up until the month of June. Now, I will be addressing 4 different types of relationships, which will be your familial relationships, your platonic relationships and or friendships, your professional relationships, and lastly, your romantic relationships, or more like your love life. Because I will be channeling messages for those of you who are currently in a relationship, dating, or seeing someone, as well as for those of you who are currently single. Okay, so to break it down for you, this reading will be divided in 3 parts. In part 1, I will be sharing with you intuitively channeled messages, as well as kind of addressing what the main themes and or lessons of love and relationships will be for the first half of 2025. And then for part 2, I will be getting right into receiving messages about each relationship type that I have just mentioned. And lastly, for part 3, I will be pulling out extra oracle cards for each relationship type to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance on them. And if you feel called to do so for this part of the reading, you can also set an intention to receive a direct message from the higher self of someone who you are in a relationship with, or who you might end up being in a relationship with. So if you are interested, then let us proceed by taking a closer look at the options. So there are 3 different groups to choose from. Representing group 1 is the card Transformation. Representing group 2 is the card Wisdom. Representing group 3 is the card The Star. Please take a moment to meditate on the options, and whichever you are drawn to, then that will be the group and a reading meant for you. And once you have selected, head on over to either the description box or the pinned comment in the comment section down below, where the timestamp that will allow for you to skip ahead to your reading can be found. Okay, and if you are ready, let us get started. Let's go! Hello, if you chose group 1, the Transformation card, bienvenidos to your reading. So the first half of 2025 appears to be a time of solving mysteries, getting and or receiving answers, seeing from a new perspective, or understanding that there is more than the eye can currently see, as well as gaining clarity. Now, something very peculiar that occurred when I was meditating on the energy of this group was, in my mind, I heard a conversation between 2 people, and one of them was inquiring, why do they even need to know about love and relationships? I find these messages about these topics to be completely unnecessary. And the other person replied, no, it is necessary and important because they are or will be going through a lot of changes in this area of life. So it is important to know. Yeah, and then you were drawn to the card Transformation. So pertaining to your relationships, you could experience a lot of changes and or shifts. Current relationships will be deepening. Others of them will be flourishing and blossoming into something more. Some relationships might end during this first half of 2025. Yet these endings feel natural, they feel organic. So this could be a situation in which you're starting to grow apart with another, and that is because your individual journeys are guiding you in different directions. And so at some point, naturally, there will be some kind of ending or some kind of falling apart or just going your separate ways kind of thing. But I do see a lot of growth, personal growth, and a lot of maturity occurring in your relationships or because of your relationships this first half of 2025. And because we literally have a figure here in the midst of a transformation, it could be that any relationships that do commence this first half of 2025 they will continue developing and or progressing for the second half of the year, right? So you might not see the fullness of this connection or maybe the manifestation of this relationship until the end of 2025. So now I'm going to move on to what it is that you can expect and or look forward to in terms to your familial relationships. Relationships with family members or people who you have declared to be or see as family, whether they are blood relatives or not. Ooh. And we have the Ace of Coins with financial opportunity, prosperity, and manifesting money. And to clarify, interesting, we have number 50 with pace yourself slow and steady, and the message, don't feel rushed. Rushing can cause regret and mistakes. Slow and steady creates the best results. I said interesting because coins, pentacles, often are known to depict a very slow-paced energy. So with the Ace of Coins, Ace is always speaking of new beginnings. It seems like there is some kind of new beginning. There is a fresh new start. So for some, it could be that throughout the first half of 2025, you will be reestablishing a connection with family members. You could be starting over with certain family members, but I do see you kind of rebuilding your relationship with one or more people during the first half of the year. And this time around, you're taking it slow and steady. You're not rushing into anything. So let's say if there was a falling apart or a disconnect with a family member, then in the first half of 2025, instead of allowing this person back into your life, giving them full access into your personal space, you're choosing to take it one step at a time with them. There's this feeling of getting reacquainted with somebody, testing waters with someone, building the trust with another all over again. Now, because we do have the number 50 here, and if we reduce this number by adding 5 and 0, we get 5. And the number 5 often speaks of unexpected changes. It can speak of drastic transformations as well. So it seems like this time around, things will be different, or your relationship with someone is transforming. Whether there was a falling apart, a disconnect or not, it seems like a relationship between you and a family member or family members, it is transforming because now the parties involved are taking a different approach. Right? Instead of rushing into anything, maybe making assumptions about the other, maybe placing very unrealistic expectations on the relationship or on the other person, we are choosing to take the time to get to know another, to build a relationship with them. Maybe to first find some middle ground, something that you have in common, something that you can relate to, something that you maybe both like to do together, taking the time to understand your dislikes and interest, what your boundaries are. So there is this vulnerability here that I am sensing, because this time around it feels like there is open communication. People are speaking about what bothers them, what their boundaries are, what they're not okay with. They could even be speaking about the past, like the reason why there was a falling apart, the reason why there was a little bit of mistrust, or what actions, certain behaviors resulted in one person feeling uncomfortable or not safe in the connection or with the other, etc. And this kind of vulnerability and open communication, willing to be transparent perhaps, is what is allowing for true connection to be established. Because the Ace of Coins is all about establishing foundations, right? So first you're making sure that there is a foundation to build a relationship upon. I feel like the first half of 2025 is about building that foundation, kind of getting an understanding as to where you stand with someone, what your relationship is founded on. There's also this feeling of taking the time to get to know another, to better understand where they are currently in their journey, maybe what their needs are, how much space they require. The example that is coming to mind is, let's say someone tends to be tardy, and it's not because they intend to be late, all the time, it is because maybe they struggle with time management, and that's something that they're currently working on to improve upon, perhaps. And so knowing this, you have this comprehension of, okay, well, because this person is working through that or they struggle with that, I understand that they might be late. And so I will not place these false expectations on them, pressuring them to be somewhere where they're currently not at, because I am aware, I know that this is something that they are struggling with, or this is something that they do. And it's also in you understanding another, like comprehending what they're going through, what they do, their behaviors and so forth. You yourself can decide whether this is something that you're okay with, whether or not this is a deal breaker for you. Because it's important to remember that nobody is perfect. And sometimes what we deem to be a priority or of importance might not be a priority or of importance to another. And so it's important to kind of get an awareness and understanding of where each person stands, what each person values, what each person is struggling with, or their behaviors, their characteristics, their habits, so that then we can decide whether we want to accommodate and build a relationship around that and based off on that. Because this will not only go one way, right? Whoever the other person is in this dynamic is also going to take the time to get to know you, to comprehend you, or to become aware of what your tendencies, your behaviors, your habits currently are, and maybe even what you're going through. Which is why it's always said that open communication, honesty and transparency, it's super important in a relationship. And if you feel like you can't have that, then it's important to take the time to ask yourself, why is that? Why can I not be open with this person? Is it because I do not feel safe? Is it because I feel judged by this person? And if that is the case, then that is something to take into account, because it is important to feel safe in a relationship in order to have that open communication, in order to allow oneself to be vulnerable enough to open up, to get to know another person, and to allow yourself to be known by another in a relationship. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of maturity occurring in your familial relationship. So maybe people in your family who weren't very open or expressive with their emotions, or were emotionally reactive throughout the first half of 2025, it seems like they are exercising patience perhaps, or they are taking the time to feel through and process their emotions before acting, so that they won't end up saying or doing anything that they will later regret or will hurt the other or hurt the relationship. And I say this time around because it does feel like another chance. It does feel like people are wanting to show up differently. So just know, if there have been people in your life who have not been that reliable or consistent, the first half of 2025, these people are trying to do better. They are trying to be more reliable, more consistent. They are doing their best to keep to their promises. They are trying their best to improve. There is this feeling of wanting to mature. And so I do sense that to be the case for a lot of you who have experienced any inconsistency with certain people in the past. But even if you haven't, I feel like there's still this sense of people wanting to do right by others, especially those who they care about, those who they want to maintain and keep a relationship with and grow with. So when it comes to your familial relationships, this is a time of developing healthy relationships, healthy connections, healthy communication, and also allowing oneself to see the other as they are. Okay, but let us now move on to your friendships or platonic relationships. So we have the Two of Wands with personal power, moving forward and embracing change. censor this. We have climax with pinnacle, ending, and the message. There is a final moment to be reached. An answer will be revealed. This final moment will leave you in a state of ecstasy and freedom. No more wondering and questioning. All will soon be beautifully exposed to you. Embrace this climax. And we have the number 71. So I chuckled a bit because I did, at the beginning, when referring to the transformation card, speak of you receiving or getting the answers, you finding clarity. And that was mentioned in this climax card. So in the first half of 2025, one or more friendships and or platonic relationships will be coming to an end. And this will be after some kind of information is revealed to you or given to you. I do see there being a moment of clarity, and it is after this moment of clarity that you yourself might choose to bring a friendship or platonic relationship to an end. I do see there's moving on or walking away from someone. So if recently there has been any kind of doubts or hesitations towards a friend, towards someone or a situation, then sometime in the first half of 2025, these doubts of yours will be cleared. Oh, the word confidentiality just came to mind. So I wonder if there was a breaking of trust, if you confided in someone and they ended up revealing your secrets, and that allowed for you to realize that this person wasn't exactly trustworthy or that you couldn't trust them with your personal matters. Because I do sense a bit of a confrontation going on with this climax card. So there could be at some point in the first half of 2025 a confrontation of sorts, and this may be something like coming clean with another, having a very honest conversation with another, speaking up about something maybe that bothered you. And that's when cards will be laid out on the table. That's when truths will be revealed, questions will be answered. And it is after this revelation, after this clarity, that some of you will choose to walk away from another or choose to bring some kind of relation to a close. Because climax is also making me think of closure. And with climax, I do get this feeling of something has been building up, and now it's reaching its pinnacle, right? So maybe there has been animosity, maybe there has been a growing apart, but instead of acknowledging that this has been happening, this has been ignored. And now sometime in the first half of 2025, it is being acknowledged and it is being addressed. And that is resulting in some kind of ending, or that is resulting in some kind of transformation, because there is this feeling of clearing out the air, coming clean, speaking honestly with another. And if it is the case that you have recently ended a relationship with a friend or someone you had a platonic relationship with, then during the first half of 2025, I see you moving on from this, because I often think of it this way. When we experience an ending, we don't just experience that ending, right? We also have to go through the aftermath of that ending, which could be the grieving, the mourning, the whole processing of the ending that we have just experienced. And so I do see you giving the time to maybe possibly mourn or to grieve or to just process the ending of this relationship at some point in the first half of 2025. But also at some point during the first half of the year, I see you moving on, right? Letting go of the past, letting go of this person and or of this relationship. No longer clinging or holding on to what once was, but allowing now yourself to welcome in something new, maybe new relationships, right? That doesn't mean that you can't hold on to the beautiful memories of the past or the lessons that you learned from these previous relationships. You very much can. That is perfectly fine. Yet what I'm trying to convey here is you now giving space for you to establish platonic relationships or friendships with new people. Or if you have been focusing way too much on this previous relationship, this is about you redirecting your focus onto other relationship types, like your family, your relationship with yourself, or maybe onto other areas of life, like work, career, studies, personal growth, personal development, health, healing, etc. Yeah, so if there has been tension between you and a friend or someone you have a platonic relationship with, this tension will reach a breaking point at some point in the first half of 2025. And this is when there will be clarity. This is when decisions will be made. This is when there will be an opportunity for people to express their true feelings or even their intentions pertaining to this relationship or to the other. And I want to clarify that if you are moving on from someone or moving on from a relationship that has ended in the past, this could be a relationship that ended a while back. So if you are moving on from somebody, this could be somebody who you haven't seen in a long while, someone who you had a falling apart with years ago. It doesn't have to be recent. Okay? Just something to keep in mind. But now I'm going to move on to work or professional relationships. Okay, so we have, oh, these are beautiful cards. We have the Queen of Cups with compassion, empathy, and intuition, as well as the Ten of Cups with happy families, blessings, and well-being. So both of these cards are associated with the element of water, and water is associated with water signs, so that will be Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And I forgot to mention that the Ace of Coins is associated with the element of earth, so earth signs, and that would be Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. Just pointing it out in case these are of significance. But with the Queen of Cups, I'm sensing community, camaraderie. I'm sensing collaboration, reciprocity. So during the first half of 2025, I do see you building some kind of community, or I see you growing a community. There's this feeling of building or growing a family, or maybe co-workers, colleagues, people that you work with, collaborate with. They will feel like family to you, or you will end up establishing a beautiful relationship with them outside of work. So these might be people that will end up being really great friends of yours, maybe even lifelong friends with the Ten of Cups. These will be people that you will invite to family events, or you will invite to family dinners, or you will invite over for the holidays, or you will visit for the holidays, or you will take the time or make time to spend with them and be there for them. And this is a reciprocal energy, so they will do the same for you. I see something like these will be people who will be there with you through thick and thin, and who will definitely be there supporting you in all of your achievements and accomplishments. Because I'm looking at this Ten of Cups, and this person here in the background, it seems like they're holding this other person's back. And it makes me think of like emotional support, moral support, being there for someone, cheering them on. And this could also be a case in which you might or you will end up working with friends or family members. So some of you could be establishing a business with a family member. It could even be with the spouse, with a long-term partner. So you do have a family business. I see your family business thriving, and all those who are part of this family business being very happy and quite pleased with the achievements of the business and with being part of this family business. But let me pull out a clarifier. And we have number 36 with Sage and Wick, clearing and cleansing. This is the time to clear your space, release the negative energy, and bring in the positive. Use sage, candles, incense, declutter, pamper your entire body with scents, etc. Time to get squeaky clean. I don't know why the word animosity keeps coming to mind. It's not a word that I've ever used in my general readings, but it just came through for this specific reading. So what was coming through is that any animosity, any tension, any bad energy at work or in a work environment or in any professional relationship, business partnership, or business, it is leaving. It is being cleared or cleansed out. So some of you could actually be doing a little bit of energy cleansing, maybe at work, in your workspace. And this might be what is helping for any dense, heavy, or even stagnant energy to be cleared out. And after this clearing out, you will immediately sense that things are a lot lighter, that there is a change or shift in the energy, in the atmosphere. You might even see or witness yourself, because I'm seeing how this Queen of Cups is observing the people in the Ten of Cups, how there is a shift and a change in the mood of the people who are also part of this environment. They're people who just step into this space. Because with the Ten of Cups, what I'm seeing is people being cheerful, supportive, optimistic. And it could also be that if it is the case that you work with others or you study with others, right? Because this could be like a class setting, school setting situation. People will be leaving or maybe transferring out of your current work environment, workplace, class, or school, if that is the case. And once these people leave or transfer, that's when you will see a shift in the energy, right? Because this could be a situation in which if there was tension in an environment, it could have been because one or more people were creating tension, maybe between others, or these could have been people that made it a little difficult to work with them or to work as a team. And so once these people leave, that's when balance will be restored, or that's when things will be or feel a lot calmer, right? So maybe there was one or more people who were creating unnecessary drama. And so once these people step out of the picture, that's when harmony is restored. If there were any misunderstandings or miscommunication at work, especially with long-term friends or family members that you currently work with, this misunderstanding will be cleared. The situation will get resolved. I see something like clearing the air with another, possibly even starting over or establishing or re-establishing trust with another, which is what was also mentioned in the section about familial relationships. And with Sage and Wick, you could be energy healers, you could be psychics, mediums, channelers. And if that is the case, I see your business booming in the first half of 2025. The Ten of Cups makes me think of having a clientele, establishing a clientele, having returning customers. Some of you could actually be building or establishing some kind of spiritual retreat or spiritual community. And with the Queen of Cups sitting by, there's this feeling of this is happening organically and naturally. Like here you are offering your services, here you are offering guidance, here you are simply sharing and being open to share, because we see this Queen of Cups extending their cup outward, and then we have like a little butterfly fluttering towards the cup. And so there's this feeling of you're not chasing, right? It's not you actively building this community. It's more like this community is building itself on its own after you have offered something, after you open up to others maybe, or share maybe your talents, maybe your skills, maybe your resources, your knowledge, your wisdom. And it makes me think of a flower who is simply there growing and being a flower, offering their nectar. That sounds a bit weird. And then the butterflies simply come to the flower, because what the flower has to offer is what the butterflies need, what they've been looking for. And so you are this flower in the first half of 2025, and your community are these butterflies, and they're fluttering towards you. And with Sage and Wick, it could very well be because you offer a safe space, or because the services that you provide or what you provide is of help and assistance to others. You could help with bringing clarity to others, or with others finding some kind of clarity. Yeah, and there's the Queen of Cups is very compassionate. She's also known to be quite psychic and intuitive. So I sense that there's a lot of love and compassion when it comes to like a work situation, when it comes to professional relationships, a business partnership. There's a lot of wanting to see the other grow, wanting to see the other thrive. Like, I'm doing this not just for the sake of money. I'm not doing this just to get fame and reputation. I'm doing this because I actually want to help. I actually want to be of service, because I want to see you grow, because I want to grow with you, right? So whatever the situation may be, if this is like a business partnership, if this is a relationship with colleagues, with co-workers, if this is a school setting, a class setting, if this is about a collaboration or a teamwork effort, or this is about you and a community, you and an audience, you and customers or a clientele. Patience. I do see a beautiful, harmonious relationship built on trust and built on respect and built on compassion as well, compassion and empathy. A lot of the people who you will end up working with or providing a service to will be people that you will resonate with in some way. You might see yourself in these people, and that might drive you to help them, or that might be the thing that will establish some kind of connection between you and the other, or there will be a feeling of familiarity between you and the people that you're working with. But I do see a love for the work, and I do sense a lot of happiness and joy, and a feeling of fulfillment. The Ten of Cups can speak of fulfillment. Feeling fulfilled by the work that you do, and feeling fulfilled in the knowing that you're working with people who have beautiful souls, are beautiful individuals inside and out, who are also wanting to help others, maybe even be of service themselves to some kind of cause or community or to others per se. Yeah, but I'm sensing camaraderie first and foremost. And for those of you who work with like customers, clients, patients, I do see you hearing back from some of them. And what you will be hearing from them is good news. They could be sharing with you how well they are doing. Because with the Ten of Cups, I see something like someone is reaching out to another to let them know that maybe they've accomplished a goal of theirs, or that they are in a much better place, or that maybe the assistance you provided to them helped them in some way. And that could leave you feeling really good about what it is that you're doing. It could also serve as some kind of confirmation or reassurance to you that you are on the right path. Or it could be a reminder to you of the reason for why it is that you do what you do. That could be the case. And it could be vice versa as well. Maybe you're the one reaching out to someone who helped you in the past to let them know how their assistance did serve you, and to thank them maybe for the help they provided you, or to let them know how well you are doing, or how much things have transformed for you and for the better. Yeah, because I see well-being here, and it makes me think of like someone letting another know that they are doing well, or someone reaching out to another to ask them how they are doing, how they are faring. But with the Queen of Cups looking over at this Ten of Cups, it gives me this feeling of someone looking fondly at a group of people. This makes me think of a teacher who is observing their students and feeling so proud of them all. And this could be a situation like it's graduation day and the teacher is there amongst the audience, seeing each one of their students walk up to receive their diploma, graduate, and them feeling so proud that their students have come such a long way, that they made it through this chapter of their life. So I am sensing someone feeling proud, someone feeling happy for another achievements, someone feeling good about what it is that they're doing, who it is that they're working with, and feeling safe in a work or school setting. Yeah, I'm seeing something like a healthy work or school environment. By the way, the number 36 may be of significance, so you could be 36 years of age, or someone who is 36 years of age or will be turning 36 in the first half of 2025 may be playing a significant role in your life. And during the first half of 2025, people that you worked with in the past or collaborated with, or went to school with, they could be inviting you to like family events. Like for example, if a high school friend of yours is getting married, they could be inviting you to their wedding. They could be asking you to be their bridesmaid, or someone that you worked with, they could be inviting you to go on a vacation with them, go on a group outing with them, that sort of thing. And it could go vice versa as well. You could be the one inviting another. And there's also this feeling of looking back on the past, but with fondness, like reminiscing, and seeing how far you have come, how far certain people that you grew up with, that you worked with, that you went to school with, have come, how much they have grown, who they have become, and feeling proud of it all, feeling proud of them. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to romantic love. So this will be for those of you who are currently in a romantic relationship, dating, as well as those of you who are single. So we have the Nine of Coins with indulgence, thriving, and self-reliance. So, interesting. I feel that a lot of you who were drawn to this group are most likely currently single. And if that is the case, it's very likely that for the first half of 2025, your relationship status will remain the same. Because the Nine of Coins does make me think of someone who is single and thriving. So A lot of you could be more so focusing on other relationship types, like your relationship with family, relationship with friends, or you could be focusing more on your career, your profession, your studies. And it could be because in the first half of 2025, there is a lot happening at work or with your higher education. And so this is, for the most part, keeping you pretty preoccupied. But the Nine of Coins can also indicate independence. So the first half of 2025, I do see you feeling comfortable with spending time with yourself. And this is whether you are or aren't in a romantic relationship, whether you enter the first half of 2025 being in a romantic relationship or not. I do see you this first half of the year feeling pretty comfortable with taking yourself out on a date, being in solitude. I see you investing in you and taking care of yourself, in treating yourself to something nice. The Nine of Coins can also speak about financial independence and financial freedom. And then we do have this person holding a black card. So when it comes to your financial situation, I do see an improvement and a betterment. And I do see you feeling pretty self-reliant and financially stable, secure. So you could be investing a little bit more money and our resources on you, on things that you love, because you are financially secure. You are in a good financial space to do so. But I do see you making some kind of business moves or big financial moves, because I do see you making a big purchase. So you could be purchasing your first vehicle, you could be purchasing your first house. Some of you could be moving out and finding your own place, your own space. You could be expanding upon something. Like, for example, if you're a business owner, you could be investing on your business with the intention of expanding it, branching it out. But I do see you focusing on you. And I do also see you being the one who might be treating others, like loved ones, friends. You could be going on some kind of vacation, going on a trip, traveling a bit. But let me pull out some clarifiers. So first I'm going to pull out a clarifier for those of you who are in a romantic relationship. And then I will pull out a clarifier for those of you who are currently single, okay? So for those of you who are currently in a romantic relationship, we have communication with messages and gifts, number 63. And the message new means of communication is necessary, whether online communication, phone, in person, or through letters or gifts. Something needs to be communicated, but in a way you aren't used to. You may also receive a message unexpected and unusual. Appreciate the little gestures. They can make the most impact. So in the first half of 2025, there will be communication between you and your significant other, open communication, which was kind of mentioned when referring to your familial relationships. And I feel like a lot of you are currently married, or at some point in the first half of 2025, you will be married or engaged. You will be living with another or settling down with a significant other. Because I mean, we have the 10 of Cups here, and then this being something that was touched upon in familial relationships, it is making me think of a relationship with a spouse, a relationship with someone that you've been in a long-term commitment with, someone who you possibly live with, someone that you have a family with, that you're raising kids with. Yeah, so that could be the case for a lot of you who are in a romantic relationship. And I did speak about how some of you could actually be working with a spouse. Because I was speaking about you making financial or business moves during the first half of 2025, some of you could very well be entering into a business partnership with a significant other. And if you currently are in a business partnership with a significant other, or you are working or collaborating with a significant other, then the first half of 2025, I do see you spending a lot of time at work together or working together. I do see building a very healthy professional relationship with each other because there is open communication. Or that is the advice for the first half of 2025. If you want to build a healthy professional relationship with your romantic partner, then it is advised for you to communicate, right? Keep the other involved in whatever moves that you're thinking about doing pertaining to whatever it is that you're working on together. Yeah, so the first half of 2025, you might find that a lot of the things that you talk with your partner about will be related to work or to whatever it is that you're working on together. But there's also something here about reaching some kind of settlement or having a lot of conversations about financial matters with your partner. So if it isn't the case that you are in some kind of business partnership with your romantic partner or you aren't working with them, then it could be that in the first half of 2025, you're working together to manage a financial situation. You are working together to maybe acquire a property or to settle some financial matters is how it's coming through. Or this could be a situation in which you are helping your significant other with matters pertaining to finances or work, or vice versa. This is reminding me of like you're attending to matters of the house. If you do own a house or you live together, like looking into the rent, into down payments, maybe house or property maintenance, you are looking into maybe getting a loan, or you are maybe looking into saving enough money to get your own place, or maybe send your kids to school, to college if you have children together, or looking into some legal or official government matters, that sort of things. So there's a lot of adulting together going on in the first half of 2025. Now, something that was coming through is some of you might actually be developing a romantic relationship with someone that you are currently working with or have been working with. And this romantic relationship might develop after hours of working together. The example that is coming to mind is after various work calls or after working nights together, working on a very important project together. It's like the time spent together working, that's the time that you end up developing a relationship that is non-professional. So that could be the case for some of you. Some of you may be in a long distance relationship, or maybe in the first half of 2025, someone will be needing to travel because of work or due to work or for work. And this will result in there being physical distance between you and your significant other. And so while you are at a physical distance, I do see there being a lot of back and forth communication between you and your significant other. You're making sure, both of you, to keep in touch. And I do see a supportive energy as well. So I see a lot of confiding in the other about things that they're worried about or things that they are concerned about, and the other offering advice, that is, if advice was requested. So there's emotional or moral support occurring between you and your significant other. And there could also be something like sending each other gifts or coming home with gifts. I'm seeing something like if you are in a long distance relationship, someone sending a care package to the other or mailing letters to the other. So you could be sending each other emails or actual physical letters. But I'm seeing something like leaving little notes, right? So if you're sending a package to your loved one, you could be sending it with a little letter or with a little note. Or if you are living together, you could be leaving little notes for one another. These could be reminders. Like, remember to take out the trash, or remember to call that person, or remember to turn in that assignment or something like that. But this could also be like love or encouraging notes. Yet what else is coming through is for those of you who have recently divorced, or you are going through a divorce or some kind of separation, then the first half of 2025, you could find yourself communicating with your ex-partner quite a bit about some kind of settlement or about this divorce process, or you could be communicating back and forth to come to some kind of arrangement or agreement. There's this feeling of negotiating. Yet whilst you're communicating with your ex-partner and are reaching some kind of settlement or agreement, you're also taking time for you and to enjoy your single life. There's this feeling of you're enjoying being single again. And there's also this feeling of you're enjoying having your own money, having your own bank account, maybe not financially relying on another. So I do see you making your own money in the first half of 2025, or you having your own money, you having your own bank account, your own savings. Okay, but now let me pull out a clarifier for those of you who are currently single. So we have, Number 53 with inner beautiful soul, and the message, look within. There's a whole inner ecosystem trying to tell you what it desires. Yeah, so with inner, I do see you focusing on the self, focusing on you, on treating yourself, attending to your own basic needs. This first half of 2025, you could be doing a lot of inner work, inner healing, but it seems like you're more so spending time with yourself to get to know you, to get to build your relationship with self, maybe establish self-trust or strengthen any self-trust. This makes me think of self-love, self-care, and of providing or creating a space or an environment in which you yourself, your inner self, can feel comfortable and safe to flourish, to blossom, and to evolve. So there is a blossoming of sorts occurring this first half of 2025 for those of you who are single. The 9 of Coins often indicates someone who is thriving. So you're thriving the first half of 2025. You're feeding your soul. You're investing in that which you love, that which brings you joy, that which excites you, that which resonates with you, heart and soul. The song Beautiful Soul by Justin McCartney just came to mind, so that song could be of significance, or Justin McCartney might be someone's favorite artist. The number 53 is also standing out to me, so some of you may be 53 years of age or 35 years of age, and this could be serving as some kind of confirmation. The first half of 2025 is about you loving yourself and treating yourself to nice things. Like treating yourself nice, treating yourself with respect, with kindness, with adoration and admiration. It's like I see you being your own cheerleader, your own hype man. You could be taking quite a few selfies in the first half of 2025, or just giving yourself quite a few compliments, investing the time to feel good, maybe even something like look good. So you're okay with pampering yourself because you want to give yourself the very best. The expression high quality just came to mind. The 9 of Coins also makes me think of a very healthy energy. The 9 of Coins I often associate it with the zodiac sign Virgo. I don't know why. I don't know if it is associated with Virgo, but I personally do. And so Virgo is associated with the 6th house in astrology, which is the house of routines, habits, and health. So the first half of 2025, you're also focusing on your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health. So some of you could actually be practicing spiritual or energy hygiene this month. I do see something also like focusing on personal hygiene as well, taking care of your physical health, eating healthy, or just being mindful of not consuming anything that negatively affects your body, your mental state. I'm seeing something like looking into hormone balance, regulating your nervous system. Some of you could be resuming or going to therapy or counseling. Some of you could be exercising more or doing some kind of activity that allows your body to stretch and to move, that allows for blood circulation, that allows for energy flow. So this is about doing what helps and serves you, encouraging good or healthy habits. So this is a really nice energy for those of you who are single. And I want to clarify that I don't sense anything like feeling bad about the fact that there isn't mention of a romantic relationship, because this energy feels pretty confident and okay with focusing on themselves, focusing on maybe other relationship types or other areas of life, because I am sensing a lot of comfortability here. It's like feeling good about oneself, not feeling this need to chase for anything, make or force for anything to happen, because whatever it is that they are focusing right now, it is bringing them joy, it is exciting to them, and it is fulfilling as well. And the expression growing into yourself just came to mind. I don't know, is that an expression that is often used? Like you're growing into your skin, or you're getting more comfortable with being in your skin, you're getting more comfortable with being yourself, is the feeling I'm getting. Some of you could be finding your personal style, or just feeling a little bit more confident, more sure of yourself this first half of 2025, or that's something that you'll see a progression in throughout the first half of 2025. Okay, but before I wrap up your reading, I want to pull out extra oracle cards to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance. And for this part of the reading, as I am shuffling the deck, if you'd like, you can set an intention to receive a message from the higher self of someone who you are in a relationship with. So for example, while I'm pulling out a card for like friendships and platonic relationships, you could set the intention to receive a message from the higher self of a friend. And if it's not the higher self, it could also be the spirit team or the spirit guides of your person of interest. But if not, you could leave it an open message. Okay, but I will start off by pulling out a card for your familiar relationships. And we have expectation with learn to trust life's journey. Sometimes what you never expected turns out to be what you need. So this gives me a feeling of maybe you thought something was going to turn out a certain way with a certain someone, but then things end up turning differently and they turn out for the better, right? But now I'm going to pull out a message for friendships or platonic relationships. Okay, so we have adversity with sometimes you have to forget what's gone, appreciate what still remains, and look forward to what's coming next. Yeah, so a lot of you could definitely be saying goodbye to certain friends or people you were in a platonic relationship with, or you're being advised to, for the first half of 2025, focus on friends who are still with you and make space for new people to come into your life, for new friendships, new platonic relationships. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to your professional relationships. And we have quest with the spiritual quest begins for most people as a search for meaning. Interesting how we have spiritual quest here, because with the Queen of Cups and Sage and Wick, I was thinking of like something spiritual, like a spiritual business or someone who was quite spiritual, maybe provided some kind of spiritual services. Yeah, so maybe a lot of you are starting some kind of spiritual quest, spiritual journey, or because of your spiritual journey, you have come to meet a lot of people, ended up working or collaborating with a lot of people that you now call friends. Or that might be the case for the first half of 2025. But this also makes me think of like two people who have the same vision, who have the same goal in mind, come together and work with each other, end up being comrades on their quest to achieving this goal or to making this vision a reality. But now I'm going to pull out a card for your romantic relationships or romantic love life. Okay, and we have cycles with 3 grand essentials to happiness in this life are something to do, to love, and something to hope for. So this makes me think of an all-around energy. So I feel like when it comes to romantic love life, you're not only focusing on the romantic aspect of your relationship, you're also focusing on the other aspects of it. So you're also taking the time to find some common ground with your partner, right? To share a common interest with them, work on something together, build on something together, have something to do together as well, something to hope for. And this is also making me think of not only focusing on romantic love or on a partner or on a significant other, but also focusing on yourself, building a good relationship with yourself, focusing on the things that you love that might have nothing to do with your significant other, or focusing on your career and not just on romantic love, that sort of thing. It's like an all-around energy. And then we do have a family tree here, so it does make me think of having a family, building a family. So like I said, a lot of you could be married, you could be partnered up, you could have a family with your significant other, or maybe this year, first half of 2025, you may be starting a family with your significant other or planning for that, making arrangements for that. And that could be one of the things that you will be mostly talking about this first half of 2025. Okay, but these are all the messages that are coming through for you guys. Anything I want to point out: butterflies, flowers, turtles or tortoises, mountains, trees, could be of significance, as well as a medallion or a necklace. The heart here is also standing out to me. There will be one or more important events. These could be family events, but don't have to be. I'm just seeing something pertaining to a celebration or some kind of anniversary occurring this month. And I am seeing some kind of spiritual practice as well as the usage of or the working with certain herbs, plants, like sage, palo santo, chamomile, rosemary, juniper. Yeah, but those are just examples. And there will be a lot of messaging, exchange of emails, texts, DMs, or a lot of phone calls, maybe even video calls occurring. A lot of communication. And the color red seems to be of significance as well. And I am noticing that in all of these cards we have what it seems to be a child or a young woman with golden or blonde wavy long hair and who's wearing a red gown. So I don't know, this could be of significance. Maybe you have blonde golden hair, highlights maybe. You may also have like wavy long hair, or someone who does maybe playing a significant role in your life. Or maybe this is how a spirit guide or guardian angel of yours comes through for you with this sort of appearance. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something that really stood out to me. Okay, but these are all the messages that are coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website. And the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to Spirit, your Spirit team, and the higher self of all those who came through to deliver a message to you for assisting me with this reading. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful first half of 2025. And until the next moment, bye bye. Hello, if you chose the card Wisdom, bienvenidos to your reading. So the message, you are understanding, you are growing, you are prospering, came to mind when meditating on the energy of this group, as well as the word renounce. So throughout the first half of 2025, you may be learning a lot from or through your relationship or connections with others. And it seems that whatever lessons you had to experience or go through via your connections and or relationships in the past, this first half of 2025, you are applying what you have learned from the lessons. So you're not repeating any old patterns. And I do get the feeling that a lot of you have learned, or you will come to learn during the first half of 2025, that it is okay to let go, especially let go of that or those who are wanting to move forward or to move on. And sometime during the first half of 2025, you might be renouncing something or saying no to someone, and it will be a decision coming from you. In other words, this decision will not be influenced by anyone's advice, guidance, or persuasion. And the owl on the wisdom card is giving off a very assertive vibe. So I do see you making some kind of decision during the first half of 2025, and this decision will be final. There will be no turning back or changing of the mind or anything of that sort. Now, owls could be of significance. They may be a spirit or power animal of yours. They could also be an animal totem, or owls could be, for the first half of 2025, a good omen, especially pertaining to the area of life, of love, and relationships. Owls could also be some kind of confirmation or a sign of yours, especially for the first half of 2025. For those of you who resonate with having or connecting with a higher self, your higher self might manifest or come through for you in the form of an owl. Yes, so if you happen to dream of owls, and this dream in which an owl appeared really stood out to you, you recalled it after awakening, then pay close attention to that dream and what message it conveyed to you, because that message could be directly coming from your higher self. Yeah, because I don't know, the owl is making me think of one's psyche or subconscious or one's higher self. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to what it is that you can look forward to and or expect in your familial relationships. So your relationship with family members or anyone who you deem to be family, even if they are not blood relatives. Okay, so let me pull out a tarot card. I recently watched Adventure Time, and the owl just reminded me of the character, the Cosmic Owl. So some of you could be Adventure Time fans, yet the character Cosmic Owl in Adventure Time is a cosmic entity that appears in premonition dreams. So whenever a character in Adventure Time has a dream with the Cosmic Owl in it, it's usually an indicator that that very same dream is a premonition dream. Yeah, so for a lot of you, owls could very well be a important sign indicating some kind of foreshadowing, forewarning, or heads up. Owls could also be, for a lot of you, a sign that you are on the right track, that whatever you are intuitively feeling, sensing, or whatever conclusion you are coming to is correct. Yeah, but I also do get the feeling that throughout the first half of 2025, you will be having very vivid dreams, or you could be having quite a few premonition dreams. It may also be the case that you will be working through a lot of unresolved issues, maybe traumas, possibly fears or insecurities via your dreams. And you may also have dreams in which you are having conversation with the people who in your waking life you either have some unresolved issues with, or you aren't fully able to communicate with them or open up to them, or that you are establishing some kind of connection with. And this may be your brain's way of working things out, coming to your own conclusions, finding clarity to situations that you struggle to comprehend in your waking life while you are in a dream state, because usually it is when we are in our dream state that we are less resistant to how we actually feel about situations, what we are actually afraid of, what we actually think, and so forth. We let our mind wander, which is why it is advised to not always take every dream that you have seriously, but some dreams could be very telling and could be quite eye-opening and insightful. So if you feel called to do so, pay close attention to your dreams in the first half of 2025, especially any dreams that do involve you having some kind of conversation with another or really stand out to you or have an owl in it. Okay, but let's see. Okay, so oh, beautiful. We have the Three of Cups in the upright with parties, indulgence, and happiness. So the Three of Cups often speaks of community coming together to celebrate. It can speak of like-minded people connecting or coming into union or into alignment with like-minded individuals, kindred spirits. And the beautiful thing about the Three of Cups is that those who are coming together, they often are very different on the surface. They could come from different places of the world, have different cultural backgrounds, social status. Their upbringing could be very, very different. Yet these differences doesn't deter these individuals from finding some common ground and from connecting at a soul level or connecting through some common interest. And the Three of Cups also expresses how each person has something beautiful and valuable to offer. So this makes me think of how oftentimes we find a sense of belonging or home in people who we meet further along our journey. And these are the people that we deem to be family, right? So the Three of Cups is making me think of a chosen family. So even if they aren't blood relatives, they still feel like family to one. And then we have slow and steady with number 23 and the message. Whatever movements you engage in right now, make sure they are slow as possible. Imagine yourself underwater with every movement you do. Soak in a bath, swim, tai chi, slow, X, etc. So I am getting a very peaceful vibe from this slow card. So it seems that things are going to be quite harmonious and peaceful when it comes to your familial relationships. And for a lot of you, as mentioned, the first half of 2025, you could be spending time with people who aren't exactly blood relatives, but they are people who you deem to be part of your family, or who you deem to be family. You could also be getting to know new people, or people that maybe you have become acquainted with. You are getting to know them on a deeper level throughout the first half of 2025. And you might be finding that these individuals are actually kindred spirits. Maybe they are individuals who you feel are part of your soul family, soul tribe, or that's how you are going to see them as. And with slow, it is reminding me of what came through for group 1 as well. So maybe you were also drawn to group 1, which was this first half of 2025, you will be taking your time to get to know others, or the time that you will be spending with your loved ones, you will be enjoying every moment of it. So I don't see you being in any rush when you are communing with family members or people who feel very familiar to you, or feel like home to you, or feel like family to you. So the first half of 2025, you may be making time to actually spend with your loved ones. And there's this feeling of, I'm blocking my schedule from this hour to this hour is solely dedicated to my family. And so I don't want to be disturbed. I don't want to think or worry about anything else. This is time meant and designated solely for my family, my loved ones. And actually, a lot of you could be attending a few family events or celebrations in the first half of 2025, and you'll find yourself just getting lost in the moment, enjoying the event, enjoying the celebration, enjoying spending time with your loved ones. And so the first half of 2025, I'm not sensing any drama when it comes to your familial relationships. It all feels quite, as mentioned already, harmonious and peaceful and steady. And I do see you engaging in activities with your loved ones that are slow paced, or that allow for you to actually spend quality time with your loved ones. So something that is coming to mind is having a nice dinner with your family or with your soul tribe, like sitting down and having a nice chat and not worrying about the time. While you're conversing, no one is looking at their phones. Like, everybody is engaged. Everybody is paying attention to one another. Everybody is present in the moment. Something else that is coming to mind is sitting together to watch a movie, or having a drink at a coffee shop together, catching up on things. So there could be a lot of catching up in the first half of 2025 as well. You may be reconnecting or reuniting with family members that you haven't seen in a while. There is this feeling of coming back home with the Three of Cups. So that could be the case for a lot of you if you do live or reside far away from home, your hometown, or the state, the country, the place that your family is from. And with 23, I don't know why, it's making me think of someone turning 23, so that could be the case for some of you. And you might be attending their birthday party, or maybe you are turning 23, or your birthday does happen to be at some point in the first half of 2025. And if you are planning to throw a party, I do see you celebrating with your loved ones, and this being a very joyful, peaceful, and beautiful time and event. We do have parties here with the Three of Cups, so you could be partying with loved ones, but with slow, I feel like instead of being a hardcore partying type of thing, like clubbing perhaps, it's more like mingling. It's more like as mentioned already, having a nice dinner, having a nice lunch in, because clubbing makes me think of adrenaline and makes me think of seeking for that excitement and that rush. But with slow, I get more like, it's not about seeking that adrenaline and rush, it's more about actually spending time with loved ones, you know, catching up with them, talking with them, being in the moment with them. So slow is making me think of sober. I'm aware, I am present, I am here with you because I am wanting to connect with you on a mental, emotional, and even soul or spiritual level. And the Three of Cups has this energy of community, right? So there's no competition here, there's no comparison. Everybody sees their own worth and sees the worth and value in the other. Everybody is here to uplift the other and to celebrate in each other's existence. So that's the vibe I get here, which is a beautiful, beautiful energy. And the Three of Cups can also indicate friendship. So with slow, you may be establishing a friendship with certain family members, or friends are now becoming more like family to you throughout the first half of 2025. Yeah, and remember, relationships aren't often one-dimensional. So someone can be a family member of ours and they could also be a friend, or vice versa. They could be a friend and also be considered family. But now I'm going to move on to your platonic relationships and or friendships. Okay, so we have the Ace. Actually, I want to try again. Okay, so it is just wonderful. So we have the Ace of Swords in the reversal with misinformation, wrong decision, and lack of focus. So the Ace of Swords is associated with the element of air. So air signs may be of significance, which will be Libra, Aquarius, and or Gemini. Or Aquarius or Gemini season of 2025 will be of significance. Let me see. Interesting. So we have number 60 with don't push button, foolish, naive, and trickster. And the message, a naive or childlike energy may push your buttons. Don't feed into it. It's okay to play only for a little while, but only if it amuses you. Know your boundaries. Okay. So whenever I look at this Ace of Swords, it makes me think of communicating or connecting with one's higher self. Because I think of this statue of Athena, I think it's Athena, as representing one's higher self. And this individual here is representing one's 3D self. And so with this card falling out in the reverse, you are being advised to not ignore your intuition or your gut feelings about certain people that you deem to be friends or that you are in some kind of platonic relationship with during the first half of 2025. If there is something that is bugging you, I do recommend for you to address it right then and there. Don't leave it for later, because you not addressing it then and there could result in some kind of miscommunication or misjudgment. And so if it happens to be the case that if in the past there was something that bugged you or didn't sit right with you or pushed your buttons and you didn't address it right then and there, or you didn't speak up about it, then during this first half of 2025, it will be addressed. And this might be addressed after some kind of outburst, because the Ace of Swords in the reversal, it's making me think of someone suppressing something, someone keeping quiet and keeping quiet and keeping quiet until they can no longer keep quiet, and then they just burst out. And so that could be the case for some of you. Yet with don't push button, I can't help but get the feeling that whatever is irking you or bothering you or just not sitting right with you could be something that you might be misinterpreting. So how could I best? There's this feeling of the sooner you talk about this, the sooner you mention it, the sooner you address it, the sooner things will get cleared up or resolved, or there will be some kind of understanding. Because this could be a situation in which if it's not you, then someone might be misjudging or misinterpreting another person's actions, or maybe another person's words. Or this could be a situation in which, For example, person B is doing something that person A doesn't really like or appreciate. And so if person A keeps quiet about this, person B will be none the wiser of how person A feels about this behavior or action. And so person B will continue doing it until person A gets very fed up with it and conflict between person A and person B ensues. Whereas if person A were to speak up about it from the very beginning, person B will then become aware that what they're doing is negatively affecting person A in some way. And so then they will have the opportunity to decide to stop doing what it is that they're doing, right? So in other words, the Ace of Swords is making me think of openly communicating, and it's also making me think of boundaries. So these two cards are kind of a reminder that not everyone and most people are not mind readers, and some people are not really good at noticing or interpreting cues, right? For example, I am very, very ticklish and I don't like being tickled. And so it makes me very uncomfortable. And so when a loved one of mine used to tickle me, I would, of course, begin laughing. But at the same time that I was laughing, I was telling my loved one to stop. But my loved one kept tickling me because they were more so focused on my laughing rather than what I was saying, right? And they didn't mean any ill intent because they genuinely thought that I was enjoying the whole tickling thing. And it was not until afterwards when I shared with them that I became really upset that they didn't stop, that they understood, oh, so you don't like getting tickled. But if I wasn't open about that, then they probably would have continued tickling me and I would have become very upset about it and felt like they were disregarding my feelings, like they weren't listening to me, right? And this was an experience I had when I was little. Me and my loved one were both very, very little. And so it doesn't have to be a situation about getting tickled, but that's kind of the energy I'm getting here. Like, it's important to have these conversations. It's important to be clear and to be maybe not upfront, but transparent with the other when we are feeling uncomfortable with something, when we are feeling like our boundaries are being crossed, or when there is something that we feel the other isn't really understanding or isn't really taking into consideration. Because no two people are exactly the same, right? We might have some similarities, but there will most definitely be differences. And so what some people might deem okay, another person might not deem okay. And so it's important to have those conversations so that then we can understand each other. Like, okay, so I like getting tickled, but you don't. Okay, then I will refrain from tickling you even though I like being tickled, right? So it's understanding one another. And the number 60 here is standing out to me because if we reduce it by adding 6 and 0, we get 6. And 6 is a number of reciprocity, balance, and unconditional love, right? So remember, when it comes to relationships, it's not only about the self, it's also about the other person who we are in a relationship with. Again, so it's about understanding that not everyone will have us figured out because not everyone thinks like us, right? Different people think differently. And so again, if someone doesn't end up reading your mind, or from the very get-go doesn't understand your cues, or doesn't understand that you like this or that you like that, etc., it's not because they don't care. It's maybe because they're still learning. They are coming to get to know you, and maybe they do require a little bit of assistance via clear and possibly upfront communication. Right? So not everybody is good with reading in between the lines. They require something more direct. So direct communication could be something that you will be exercising in the first half of 2025, or something that maybe you're being recommended to exercise or put into practice. And the Ace of Swords is also advising you, do not disregard your boundaries, right? If it is the case that you have mentioned your boundaries or mentioned to someone that you're not okay with this or not okay with that, and you find that they're still crossing those boundaries, they're still doing that thing that pushes your buttons, then that's something to take into account and consider, right? Because if you have spoken about this and more than once, then it's very likely that this person is not paying attention or they are just not really being considerate of you or your needs. And with don't push button, it's also important in the first half of 2025 that if you don't feel safe around someone, especially if you don't feel safe to confide something personal and important to them, don't force it. Don't feel in any pressure to do so. I know that might sound very obvious, but I personally have been in situations in which I know this myself, and still I find myself feeling pressured to open up to someone I don't feel comfortable with opening up to. For example, like answering very personal questions that they are asking me. So just keep that in mind. If someone asks you something very personal and you don't want to answer, you don't have to answer. And do not dismiss any red flags. And all these messages that are coming through for friendships and platonic relationships feel, or at least to me, they sound pretty general. So I am wondering why that is. Maybe for the first half of 2025, there won't be a lot of focus on like friendship or specific friends, and this is more just like a general advice and or energy, or something that you are being advised to kind of consider and or apply, or something that you might experience pertaining to just people that you might meet on a day-to-day, or people who might want to strike some kind of friendship with you, or people who are more like acquaintances. But definitely if you have quite a few friendships and you spend a lot of time or will be spending a lot of time with friends, then these messages could very well be pertaining to these relationships or these friends of yours. Like, be open and honest with them. If there's anything that is unclear to you, instead of jumping to any assumptions or taking any form of action, clarify things first by asking what somebody meant or why they did what they did. Have those conversations first before deciding upon anything or doing anything, okay? And number 60 is making me think of allowing for someone to explain themselves, maybe. That's just an advice, allowing for someone to share their point of view. But now I'm going to look into your professional relationships. So this could be relationships with colleagues, co-workers, clients, customers, supervisors, bosses, higher ups. Okay, and we have Temperance in the upright with balance, harmony, and perspective. And Temperance is associated with the zodiac sign Sagittarius. Oh, also, sorry for going back to your platonic relationships or friendships, but something just came to mind, which is during the first half of 2025, you might be reducing communication or cutting off communication completely with someone who you don't or couldn't see eye to eye with, who you couldn't really communicate with, or who kept crossing some kind of line or boundary of yours. There's also something here about going private. So you could be switching an account of yours to private, or maybe there will be something like blocking an account or blocking a number. Or with don't push button, there is something also about you detaining yourself from visiting a certain account or seeing somebody's posts or maybe texts or DMs, because you have realized or you come to realize that doing so is unhealthy for you, or it isn't conducive to your mental health or to your betterment, or it doesn't allow for you to move on. So yeah, something that came through. But we also have judgmental with critic, the number 49, and the message, leave any judgment behind, specifically of yourself. All the judgments in the world should only come from menial people who don't have anything better to do with themselves, and these people do not need your energy. And this is for your professional relationships. So with Temperance, this makes me think of temperament. So it seems like during the first half of 2025, you are needing to practice patience, and you are needing to be a little bit more mindful, practice mindfulness, because I do see you reminding yourself that other people's commentary and perspectives and beliefs are not a reflection of who you are as a person. right? We did kind of speak about that before, how different people have different ways of thinking, they have different minds and beliefs and so forth. So there is this feeling of distancing yourself from critique, feedback, in order to see and or take in feedback objectively. Because we in the Temperance card, we have a performer who is backstage, and they're balancing or mixing the liquid between two cups. And so this is making me think of moderation. It's also making me think of someone who's taking the time to calm themselves or regulate their nervous system, to self-soothe. And so with judgmental, there is also something here about not jumping into conclusions and or assumptions, not getting ahead of yourself, or not allowing for your thoughts or your emotions to get the best of you. So I'm not saying this is the case for every single one of you, yet if it happens to be the case that you have struggled with not being able to take criticism, or if in the past all you focused on was the negative comments, commentary, feedback, criticism, and so forth, and that messed with your self-esteem, that really emotionally affected you, then it seems like over time you have come to learn that you can choose to focus on these negative comments and make them a priority, or you can choose to just acknowledge them but not really pay much attention to them, especially if they aren't constructive, if they aren't serving you in any way, right? Because not every commentary needs to be considered. And so in the first half of 2025, you're really putting this into practice, because I do see you being a lot more mindful. And so this could be something like you're doing your best to not give priority to what other people might think of you, or you're doing your best to keep an objective perspective about any kind of feedback that you are receiving, because I do see you receiving some kind of feedback during the first half of 2025. And so with Temperance, you are taking what is of value to you from this feedback. You're seeing what it is that you can use from this criticism to help you improve and to help you grow, to help you better. And it's true for both positive and what might be perceived as negative feedback. It's true for both of them, right? Because sometimes we can get really carried away with all the positive feedback that we are receiving, so much so that we ignore all other kind of feedback. And although that is good because it boosts our confidence and it reassures us, it can also be of detriment to our growth, because we're not allowing to see things from a different perspective that might assist us with bettering in our craft or challenging ourselves so that we can grow and that we can better and so forth. So it's important to have a nice balance. Maybe that's what the Temperance card is talking about, because Temperance is about balance, right? It's not ignoring one over the other, taking them both into account, realizing that they both have some value and that we need to use both of these responsibly, right? Not get carried away with one or the other. Keep our head over our shoulders and our feet firmly planted on the ground when we are acknowledging both of them. So I don't know, with judgmental, it could be the case that for the first half of 2025, you might be working with or surrounded with people who are quite judgmental, or they are very opinionated. They could be people who often give feedback. Maybe that's part of their job, to give feedback. Or in the first half of 2025, you are going to be evaluated. You will be receiving some reviews, or you will be getting some feedback. And again, you are being advised to use this to your advantage, right? Not use it against yourself, and apply your own discernment as well, right? Because a lot of these so-called criticism that we receive is often biased, right? It's personal opinions, and it's important to keep that in mind. Because what one person tells us is right might be what another person tells us is completely wrong, right? And so we cannot always please everybody. And that's kind of also the message of the Temperance card. do not focus so much on pleasing everyone, because that will end up being an impossible task. Because again, every single person is different, thinks differently, has different beliefs, opinions, and perspectives, right? So use what might help you grow and evolve as a creator, as a professional, as an individual, or might help to better your craft or improve upon your skills and or your talents, and allow for the rest to simply be, right? And it could also be for a lot of you that you are in a career or field or line of work where you are exposed to the masses, where you are seen by many. Maybe you are a public figure or you are in the public eye, and so you might often receive commentary. And I feel like this month you're doing a really good job about not allowing yourself to be influenced by this commentary, or not taking this commentary personally. And I know that's often not so easy, but it is something that we can learn to do the more we practice it. And some of you might be choosing to, as mentioned, kind of like not pay attention to this. For example, if you are on social media, you might be turning off the comment section or disengaging with the comment section. If you used to spend hours scrolling through the comments, maybe in the first half of 2025, you're reducing the amount of time you're doing so, or you're allowing yourself just a certain amount of time to actually read through some of the comments, and then that's it. And these are decisions that you might be making for your mental health. Yeah, and some of you could actually be reducing the amount of time you're spending on social media, or the amount of time that you are active on social media. But that might only be for a select few of you. But for others of you, you could also find a new way to engage with your audience. If you do work with an audience, you could also be placing some kind of boundary. The illustration in the Temperance card is making me think of creating some kind of public persona. So oftentimes, people in the public eye do that in order to create a boundary or separate their personal lives with their work life. So whatever commentary and feedback they receive in their work situation, they don't take it personally, or it doesn't end up influencing their personal life, right? And so they could also have some kind of privacy. And so some of you could be choosing to do that in the first half of 2025. And the expression keeping things in perspective just came to mind. So that's something you might be doing the first half of 2025, and it will be serving you. And with the Three of Cups showing up for your familial relationships, you will have a support system with you, a support group, which is always very, very helpful. So if there is any time that you need to talk to somebody, or that you need some kind of emotional support, you will have it from your support system. Yeah, so don't be afraid to, again, speak up, to be honest, to be transparent, right? With those who you feel comfortable and safe with. You're not alone. And you being affected by what others say doesn't mean that you're weak in any way, or doesn't mean that you can't handle certain things. No, because we're all humans, and feeling affected by what others say, I think it's normal, right? We're all humans with feelings, and it's normal if we do. So don't beat yourself up about that. It's just remind yourself that what others say about you, especially people that don't know you personally, people that don't spend a lot of time with you, people that don't know you behind the scenes, are not a representation of who you are. And mostly it's more so a reflection of what the commentator might be going through and are processing. Their personal beliefs, right? Which is not a universal truth. So just something to keep in mind. But with the TV here, yeah, a lot of you could be gaining some kind of exposure in the first half of 2025. You could be getting a little bit more attention than you have in the past. And with a lot of attention, with a lot of exposure, there comes a little bit of both. You know, the hype and the positive vibes, but also the not so pleasant. For example, troll behavior, or people who are very opinionated and find fault with everything and are very critical and judgmental, etc. So there's always a little bit of both. Hopefully there will be more of, the positive and the intellectual and the constructive criticism. But if there is any of the other, just keep in mind all that was mentioned previously, especially if it is of any help to you. And if you need to take a break from, like comments or anything like that, please do so. You don't have to engage with all of that all of the time. But now we're gonna move into your romantic love life. So we have the Six of Swords and the upright with calmer waters and moving ahead, as well as healing. And so one thing I just want to say before moving on is you're addressing this whole situation or facing it with a lot of maturity this first half of 2025, a lot of maturity. And you being exposed and you being seen by many, or you receiving some kind of feedback, will not deter you from continuing being in the limelight, from allowing yourself to continue to be seen. Instead, for a lot of you, it might be encouraging you or giving you the courage to shine the more brighter. And the number 49, or the numbers 4, 9, and 14 could be of significance. So with the Six of Swords, whether you are single, currently seeing somebody, or in a romantic relationship, I do see this moving on. So some of you could be moving on from someone who you were romantically involved with, or if you are currently in a long-term committed relationship, it could be that you are physically moving. So during the first half of 2025, either you or them could be traveling. And so during this period, you and your person might be at a physical distance, or both of you could be traveling, relocating, or on the move together. That last one sounds a bit sketchy, but I meant you could be looking for a new place to settle down together, because there is this feeling of someone is either moving on from another, or they are literally physically moving. But I'm going to pull out two clarifiers. So the first one will give us info for those of you who are currently in a relationship. And then the second clarifier will provide messages for those of you who are single, meaning that you're not in a committed relationship. So for those of you who are in a romantic relationship, we have jackpot with fortunate and pleasure, and the message luck is on your side, allow the gems to fall at your feet, and the number 80. So okay, interesting. What came through is, for those of you who are currently in a romantic relationship, you could feel as if you've hit the jackpot with your current significant other. And you may especially be feeling this way if you have recently or not so long ago either ended a previous romantic connection with another person, or you decided to move on from an ex per se, or someone that maybe you were infatuated with or romantically attracted to. Because what I'm seeing is this narrative of somebody feeling quite blessed and happy that they actually allowed themselves to move on, because in them moving on, they weren't able to meet the person that they are currently in a romantic relationship with. Because with jackpot, it literally has this feeling of, I have hit the jackpot. I have been blessed. So that's how a lot of you could be feeling for the first half of 2025. And the Six of Swords, as mentioned, can also indicate healing. So for others of you, this could be a case in which if you recently decided to work things out with your partner, to have an open, honest conversation with them, you could feel very grateful for that, because you being open with your partner, you working things out with them or allowing for things to be worked out, has resulted in the connection improving, in there being healing in the connection, or it has resulted in some kind of breakthrough, right? But again, I'm thinking of going along with your gut feelings and intuition. So it seems like in the first half of 2025, you're going to feel quite happy with your decisions, especially decisions you made from you going along with your intuition, you trusting in what you knew to be true for you. So if a lot of you have felt like it's time to move on, it's time to start dating again, or I want to give this connection another chance, or I want to give this new person a chance, then the first half of 2025, you will feel quite fortunate that you went along with your gut feelings, with your intuitive knowing. Yeah, because the message, allow the gems to fall on your feet, at your feet, does make me think of surrendering, right? Not forcing for anything, not questioning too much, but rather just going along with that first gut feeling, or allowing yourself to move in the direction that you are naturally and genuinely being guided to. Since the Six of Swords does speak about transitions, it could be that you, your significant other, or both of you are going through some kind of transition, maybe even a period of healing. And if so, this month you are receiving a lot of support from your significant other, or you are supporting each other through this transition or through this period of healing. And I see you or your significant other, both of you, feeling quite lucky that you have each other through these times, because being together, being a team, makes facing these challenges or going through this phase or this moment a lot easier, a lot more manageable. And for those of you who are in a long distance relationship, the first half of 2025, there will be an opportunity to meet up with your person in person. They could be traveling to you, or you could be traveling to them, or you could be meeting each other halfway. But with Jackpot, there's something here about finally getting the opportunity to come into physical union or to see each other in person. There's also something here about schedules aligning, you receiving some kind of opening. Or what else came through is, and this is, I find this quite interesting that this is coming for those of you who are currently in a romantic relationship, but what was coming through is, if you have been waiting for somebody to be available, or for someone to give you a chance to, get to know them or pursue them romantically, then in the first half of 2025, this person might be becoming available, or they will be giving you an opening, or they will be saying yes to or welcoming your romantic advances. This doesn't mean that this relationship is guaranteed. It's more like you will have an opportunity to get to know this person or pursue them in a more romantic way, right? But it will be after their consent. Yeah, but for a lot of you, I see someone traveling towards you. But now I'm going to pull out a card for those of you who are currently single. Ooh, so we have 57 with playful, fun, and young love. And we have the message, nothing needs your seriousness. A time to play is here. Allow in anyone and anything that gives you laughter, and allow yourself to laugh at the simple things, specifically yourself. Life never ages wherever the pleasure of play resides. Okay, so the number 57 just made me think of a 5 to 7 year age gap. Only take that if it resonates. Doesn't have to be like your case if you're not okay with that. It could also be a 2-year age gap. Or this could be something like 5 to 7 months or 5 to 7 weeks. Because like I said, I do see someone traveling towards you. It could be the other way around, where you're traveling towards this person, maybe without you being aware that you're doing so. But I do see a possibility for romance with the playful card. So I'm getting different scenarios here. For some of you, it could be the case that in the first half of 2025, you are going to allow yourself to get to know someone in a more romantic way. Maybe there has been someone who has been wanting or trying to pursue you, but you kind of put a stop to them. And it could have been because you were in a relationship, or you were still moving on from an ex, or you were interested in somebody else. And maybe it's very possible that in the first half of 2025, you will decide to give this person who has been trying to pursue you a chance. You will be giving them some kind of opening to fully pursue you. And it could be because you have ended your relationship, you have moved on from an ex, or you are deciding to move on from your previous romantic interest because nothing was happening in that situation. Because with fun and young love, I am seeing something like dating, like the first stages of getting to know somebody romantically. So you could be going on a couple of dates, or you could just be meeting up with someone and, getting to know them a little bit more, opening up to them a little at a time. And for others of you, I sense that someone new will be entering your life, right? And this may be someone who is from afar. They may be someone who is traveling when you meet them, or they have just recently relocated, or that you might meet during your travels, or that you will meet after you have relocated. But I feel more so that this will be someone who is making their way to you. And this is someone who you might start some kind of friendship with. This feels very organic. It doesn't feel instantaneous. Whereas, you meet someone and then sparks fly and you're madly in love, that kind of thing. Or you're infatuated with one another. It feels more like you meet someone, you introduce yourself to each other, and you kind of talk about just random things or ask each other some questions just to get to know a little bit about each other's backstory, where you're from, and so forth. And maybe you don't think much of it. Maybe there is some excitement. Maybe there is some thrill or anticipation to see this person again. But it doesn't immediately lead to something more. And so you go about your day, or you go about your life. And then another opportunity presents itself to you to come across this person or meet them again and spend some time with them. It's like this is something that grows or unfolds over time. And there will come a point in which one or the other will ask the other on a date, or will kind of insinuate or just upfront declare that they are interested in getting to know the other in a more romantic way, or that they are seeing the other in a more romantic way. And so that's when the whole going on dates and being a little bit more playful with one another will happen. But with young love, this energy here does feel quite innocent. It feels like two people getting to know one another, opening up to each other slowly as they feel comfortable to do so. Two people who can be quite childlike around each other, can be quite goofy. People who kind of have some commonalities, some common ground, who feel safe around the other. And with the Six of Swords, this could be a situation in which at some point you might feel like you were guided to this person, or this person was guided to you, or like you're being guided back to this person. Because it could be a situation in which you continue bumping into each other, or circumstance makes it so that you reconnect in some way. But it could also be that you find yourself yearning or wanting to see this person again. And so if it's not fate, let's say, or the cosmos orchestrating a reunion between you both, like you bumping into each other again and again, it could be you or the other taking it upon yourselves to come into contact with the other. Like, I want to see this person again, and so I'm going to call them up to meet up with them, or I'm going to go where I know they usually hang out in order to see them again, because I want to, right? That's the feeling I get with playful. And both of these energies, I know they're about like different situations, but both of these energies have something like, I'm excited, I'm eager, I feel like I hit the jackpot, I want to see this person again, I have such a good time when I'm around this person, I have such good memories in regard to this person, I want to create even more memories with them, I feel seen by this person, I can be myself around this person, I feel quite fortunate to have met them, that sort of thing. There's a lot of like joyfulness and giddiness around this whole situation. And there's also something about feeling renewed, like feeling alive again, feeling inspired once more. So yeah, this person could inspire a lot of good feelings in you, and they could bring out a side of you that you haven't seen in a while, or they could help with you reconnecting with a part of you that you felt like you lost contact with, or you disconnected with for quite some time. And I feel like this aspect or part of yourself will be one that is quite attuned to your inner child, or reminiscent of your childhood self, or of you in your younger days, for example, when you were a little bit more jovial and joyful and enthusiastic about life. There's something about a park, maybe because I'm seeing the swing here, but I do get this slow and steady vibe from both of these cards. Like, we're taking it slow and steady. There's no rush. We're taking our time to get to know one another. And whenever we are with each other, we're not rushing anything. We're not in a rush. Yeah, but definitely with the Six of Swords, I feel like this will come after you have decided to move on, or after you have decided to open up, or after you have decided to allow maybe romance into your life, or allow yourself to meet someone or give someone a chance, or allow romantic love into your life. And whoever this person is, it's giving me a bit of puppy energy, but it is giving me a mix of like puppy and cat energy. So they will be very sweet. The word adorable just came to mind. They will have a childlike energy or essence to them. They will be very fun and playful. They will be quite witty with their jokes, or you will vibe with their sense of humor. This is someone who will have you laughing out loud. They could have a dimple or two dimples, or you will really love their smile. Like, their smile brightens your day or makes you feel all giddy. Or this might be how they will feel about your smile. Someone's eyes really glistens or twinkles, or they will when they see the other. The word treasure could be of significance, as well as bejeweled. This is someone who likes to plan events, or they like to plan for things just because they're so excited about the days to come, or about the days, evenings, or nights they will be spending with you. So oftentimes when you meet them, they might already have like the day planned out, or they might already have things that they want to do with you, see with you, enjoy with you, experience with you. None of this is in a controlling way. It's more like, I have suggestions. Do you want to do this with me? Do you want to go see this movie with me? Or, you know, I've been holding out on seeing this movie because I wanted to enjoy it with you, because I thought that you might enjoy this movie as well. Like, that sort of thing. And their love language could also be gift giving. I'm seeing a lot of playfulness here, so they could be quite the jokester. They could be quite the tease, but they do love treating their loved ones. They do love doing their best to have their loved ones feel comfortable and seen and treasured and valued. They really care about their relationships. This is someone who could be quite picky though. They know what they like, so they don't easily change their mind, and they could get easily hooked on things as well. So they go through phases. They're quite passionate, I think, but they do have a very innocent energy or vibe to them. Or this could be you, right? If this is resonating with you, you could share some of these qualities or energies. But now I want to pull out an extra oracle card for each relationship type. And these could serve as extra messages, advice, and or guidance. Yet, if you would like a direct message from the higher self of someone who you are in a relationship with, then please set that intention. So for example, as I'm shuffling the deck to pull out a card for your familial relationships, you can set the intention to receive a message from the higher self of a family member of yours, or someone who you deem to be family. For romantic love, it could be from the higher self of your romantic partner or your future romantic partner, etc. Okay, so I will start off by pulling out a card for your familiar relationships. So we have gentleness with, it's not how others make us feel that is important in life, but rather how we make others feel. Wow. And we also have manifestation. Everything you need, your courage, strength, compassion, and love, everything you need is already within you. And we have a baby here. So you could be welcoming a new member into your family during the first half of 2025. There could be a newborn in the family. If you are manifesting something pertaining to your familiar relationships, your family, your home life situation, you will be manifesting it, or it will manifest at some point in the first half of 2025. Now I'm going to move on to your friendships and or platonic relationships. Ooh. So one card flipped over and we have action. It is love alone that leads to right action. What brings order in the world is to love and let love do what it will. Interesting. This is making me think of following your inner guidance and your compass. Listening to your heart more like. I will be giving my own take and interpretation on the messages of each card, yet I do advise for you to sit with each message and, see what comes through for you. Give it your own interpretation, or just take the message as it is. You don't have to listen to my interpretation or consider it if it's not resonating with you. Okay, and now I'm going to pull out a message for your professional relationships. And we have romance. Interesting. You can close your eyes to the things you don't want to see, but you can't close your heart to the things you don't want to feel. Okay, so I feel like this is encouraging you to not numb yourself to your feelings and or emotions. If something hurts, it's okay to acknowledge that, right? Acknowledging it doesn't mean that you let it take over you or that you let it hold any kind of power over you. It just means that you're allowing yourself to feel whatever it is that is naturally coming up for you. And romance is making me think of authenticity, being authentic with yourself as well as honest. And now I'm going to pull out a card for romantic love life. And we have nature with look deep into nature and you will understand. Without rain, nothing grows. Learn to embrace the storms of your life. And this is making me think of cycles, endings and beginnings. Some things come to an end, but that doesn't mean that there won't be new beginnings, because there will be. And you could also be receiving a lot of signs via nature, in nature. You could also be receiving messages via or through animals in the first half of the year. Okay, but let's see. Anything I want to point out? Jewelry could be of significance, as well as crowns, angels, and I'm seeing some kind of proposal. This could be a romantic proposal, but this could also be like a proposal to collaborate, to work with another, a business proposal perhaps, a job offer. So you could be receiving one of those, or more than one of those at some point in the first half of 2025. Okay, but these are all the messages that are coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. Before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to you and to your spirit team and my spirit guides and the higher self of all those who came through to deliver a message to you for assisting me with this reading. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful first half of 2025. And until the next moment, bye bye. Hello, if you were drawn to the star, bienvenidos to your reading. So I do recall that when I was shuffling the deck, this card actually fell out in the reversal. So the fact that it did makes me think that possibly some of you are currently feeling a bit hopeless about maybe a relationship, love and relationships in general, possibly romantic love, or there may even be a disinterest for this area of life. Yet, looking at this card in the reversal, it makes me think of falling or shooting stars. And we actually have one here in the illustration. And falling stars, at least for this reading, are making me think of something incoming. Maybe a blessing, maybe someone new is coming into your life, or something you've been manifesting is finally going to manifest. But the star card in tarot often indicates hope, healing, faith, as well as contentment. So if things are starting off a bit rocky in terms of love and relationships at the start of 2025, I think things will turn around at some point during the first half of the year, and you will be experiencing peaceful times and contentment in your relationships as well. This waterfall here is really standing out to me because, as you can see, we have pieces of ice floating on the water, and this is making me think of breaking the ice. So if a relationship went cold, or someone was giving you the cold shoulder, or wasn't allowing for communication between you both to flow, I feel like there will be a breaking of ice at some point in the first half of 2025. And what just came through was the month of June. So during the month of June, something very significant could happen in one or more relationships, because I'm noticing we have several stars here. Maybe it is you who is going to allow for your emotional waters to flow, meaning that you will find yourself being a little bit more open and vulnerable with your loved ones. And that will allow for communication to flow, or for your connection to be deepened, or for any miscommunication to be cleared if there has been any. Because this night sky is making me think of a clear sky. So anything that was blocking a connection, or anything that was resulting in you not meeting eye to eye with another, or in there being some kind of conflict, I think it's going to be addressed and it's going to be cleared out. And all these stars in the night sky are making me think of a cluster of souls. So of a soul family, a soul tribe, soul mates, which could be platonic and could also be romantic. So you could be spending time with people of your soul family, or people who you deem to be part of your soul tribe, or you could be meeting one or more people who are part of your soul family, or who maybe before incarnating in this lifetime, your souls agreed to meet one another during this period of your lives in order to help each other out, inspire one another, because the star card can also speak of inspiration, being inspired, or to guide each other or assist each other in your individual healing or spiritual journeys. Because I am seeing some kind of awakening occurring, or more like a clearing out. What I keep hearing in my mind is someone going, letting out a sigh of relief after having released something, gotten something off of their chest, cleared something out of their system, or maybe of their energy field, or let go of some kind of burden. This also makes me think of an opening or a clearing out of an energy center. And what is coming through in specific is either the third eye, the throat chakra, or the heart chakra. And there is actually a energy center called the soul star chakra. So that could also be an energy center that some of you are activating, or really tapping into and connecting with, working with during or throughout the first half of 2025. But I see a lot of you allowing yourself to be a little bit more vulnerable, especially in your connections and or with your loved ones. What I'm seeing in my mind's eye is someone kind of peeking out from a room that they've been locked in for quite some time, to look around before slowly coming out of that room. There's this feeling of coming out, or opening up, or of allowing others in. Also, the star reminds me of the zodiac sign Aquarius. So Aquarius season could be of significance, which begins somewhere around January 21st, I think, and it ends around February 22nd. I'm not sure, but it's around those days. Or some of you could be an Aquarius sun, moon, or rising sign, or someone who is an Aquarius sun, moon, or rising sign may be playing a significant role in your life, especially Aquarius moon. Okay, but now I'm going to pull out some cards to find out what it is that you can expect and or look forward to in terms to your familial relationships. So relationship with family members, or loved ones who you deem to be family, even if they are not blood relatives of yours. Some of you could be reconciling with certain people during the first half of 2025, or just forgiving someone. I am sensing forgiveness with this star card. So if you're not reconciling or reconnecting with someone that you had a falling out with, this could be something more like you're forgiving this person, or finding forgiveness, or you're getting some kind of closure pertaining to this connection and our relationship, if closure was or is needed. Okay. And we have the 10 of coins in the upright with inheritance, financial security, and family, which is a beautiful card to get pertaining to like familial relationships. So the 10 of coins can speak of stability, something long-term, like long-term relationships or long-term commitment. The 10 of coins can also indicate marriage, family lineage, traditions. So some of you could actually be getting married at some point in the first half of 2025. And that makes me think of like through marriage, someone is being integrated into a family or a new member is being integrated into a family. So this month, whether you are getting married or not, there could be an integration of a new member into the family. Maybe someone else in your family is getting married. And so now you have a brother or sister-in-law or an in-law, or maybe someone in the family is giving birth to a newborn or they're adopting. And so your family is growing bigger. But with the 10 of coins, I'm definitely seeing stability. So when it comes to family financial matters, things are faring well for you and your family in the first half of 2025. You or your family could be receiving some unexpected money. Or if you have a family business, it seems like it's doing quite well. It's supporting you, it's supporting your family. It's allowing for your family to thrive financially. Okay, but we have number 58 with intoxicated and hypnotized, and the message, a situation may make you feel intoxicated. Not literally, but mentally and emotionally. Be sure to not get lured into any illusions. This is quite interesting because immediately when I saw this card and, this money falling in the 10 of coins, it made me think of someone getting greedy or someone wanting more, not being satisfied with what they have. So maybe this is a heads up for the first half of 2025 to remind yourself that although there is more out there, that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy your here and now. And I feel like you're being advised to take a moment to actually look around you and appreciate what or who you have with you currently, right? Because we are talking about relationships, and this situation, if it's not about financial wealth or material possessions, it could be speaking about appreciating your loved ones, right? Taking a moment to see the value in your current relationships. And so maybe the first half of 2025 is a time of slowing down and investing in your current familial relationships, enjoying what you have here and now with your current connections, that sort of thing. But since the 10 of coins can speak about inheritance, maybe in the first half of 2025, there's going to be a focus on some kind of inheritance, some kind of financial matter. Maybe there's something about dividing resources amongst family members or dividing an inheritance. I actually want to pull out a clarifier for this. Yeah, okay, so we have tension with build up and rise, and the message, something is building, whether physical or mental. Something is causing you tension. You will need time to find your breath. Meditate, surround yourself in nature. Try not to allow small or big things to force an unnecessary reaction. Yeah, so tension could be rising if there is money involved, or if there is some kind of inheritance involved, if there's some kind of family business and the family business is doing well. Like some people might be getting a little bit greedy, or they could be tempted by money, material possessions. And this could be causing some kind of tension in the family, between family members. Maybe this has something to do with job and career. What just came to mind is someone might be waiting to hear back from a company, an employer, or they could be waiting to hear back from an insurance company, or they could be waiting to hear back from an institution. Maybe there is a student in the family who is awaiting to hear back from a college or a university, and everybody is just in anticipation to know the news, know whether they have been accepted or not. Or if you are currently a student, you could feel pressured by the expectations of your family or loved ones, or by what you think your loved ones are expecting from you. Because again, with the 10 of coins being in the upright, I'm not sensing any conflict, I'm not sensing any chaos. So if you are feeling pressured to do well, maybe at work, in your career, to get some kind of job opportunity, to get into an institution, you could be feeling this pressure because of what you think others are expecting from you, and not so much because others are actually placing some kind of pressure on you. Maybe some of you are not wanting to disappoint, you are wanting to make your family proud, and you think that maybe by you getting into this place or being accepted here, or getting that kind of job, or getting a certain amount of salary, you will be making your family proud. And I feel like if that is the case, you are being advised this month to take a moment and really consider whether these are things that your family is asking of you, or this is more so something that you are asking of yourself or expecting of yourself. Because I feel like the first half of 2025 is about reminding yourself that you are more than what you do. Your value is not associated with, or it does not depend on what you do for a living, how much you earn, where you studied, or who you marry, because the Ten of Coins can also talk about marrying into wealth. And I just thought of like an arranged marriage. So some of you could be dealing with an arranged marriage situation, and there could be pressure around that. But I mean, I'm a little confused by this energy, because I'm not sure, again, if this is a case in which someone is being pressured by family members, or if someone is pressuring themselves because they think others are expecting something of them, when in actuality, that's not really the case. It's more like these assumptions are making us believe certain things, and that is what is creating pressure. Yeah, but another situation I'm seeing is tension actually builds between family members because money is involved. Some kind of inheritance or some kind of business, possibly. This could also be something pertaining to a debt or a property. Quite interesting, because when looking at the Ten of Coins, I was sensing a pretty happy and joyful energy, but now with these two cards, I'm getting a bit of a conflicting vibe here. And so I wonder if like things can get resolved or settled down. Maybe this energy doesn't have to lead to any conflict or chaos or tension between family members. I mean, if it is addressed right from the beginning, if people remind themselves to stay level-headed and keep their feet firmly planted on the ground and be reasonable about the situation, if people don't get consumed by greed or don't prioritize money over their relationships, or if they remind themselves that they are worth more than what they do or how much they earn or who they marry, etc. Yet one thing is for sure, I do see there being some kind of successful outcome in terms to financial matters. Because this illustration in the Ten of Coins is depicting a windfall, right? So money may be coming in for the family as a whole, or for one or more people in the family. I do see like someone getting accepted somewhere, someone doing better than maybe others expected or that they expected. Yeah, so I did speak about like a wish fulfillment or something manifesting. And if you've been wishing for like some kind of career, job opportunity, or a betterment in your financial situation, or for you to get some kind of financial aid or financial assistance, something that will allow for you to prosper financially or in your career, or to help your family out maybe, I do see you getting good news in regards to that, or getting it. This wish of yours being fulfilled, being granted sometime in the first half of 2025. This also makes me think of a situation in which someone is doing well. There is stability in their life, they are financially secure, yet instead of this bringing them peace of mind, it is creating even more pressure to do even better or to maintain this stability. And so they could be pushing themselves to acquire more or to do more, or they could be a little bit too focused on continuing the sort of momentum that they have going, so that they won't lose this stability. But that's like an expectation that they have, because the Ten of Coins, like I said, it's an energy that talks about something being long term. So like it's good that someone is wanting to continue doing well. Yet I feel like for the first first half of 2025, it's about reassuring oneself that they can slow down and enjoy their here and now, and that they don't have to put this big pressure or this huge responsibility on their shoulders. Because I feel like this is the kind of pressure the breadwinner of the house could be feeling, or like the head of the household or the head of the family. Yeah, so someone here could feel an immense financial responsibility. They could feel like they are the financial provider in their family. Yet I feel like whoever this is, if it's you or if it's someone that you know, it will help them a lot to receive reassurance from their loved ones that they are already doing a really good job, and that it's okay for them to slow down, and that the love for them does not depend on what they do, how much they provide, and so forth, that they are loved for who they are. I feel like it will really help for this person to receive that kind of reassurance and to remind them to like also take care of themselves, to enjoy themselves, and to live in their present moment and not always be looking towards the future or wondering if the grass is greener on the other side. Kind of have that emotional support. Because I feel like someone is working very, very hard, or they're working themselves very, very hard for the sake of their family. So maybe this is also an advice that if there's anybody in your family who does work and you see them working hard or working extra hours, working overtime, or feeling sometimes stressed about work, to give them a little bit of like encouragement, or to maybe pamper them a bit, give them a massage. This tension card is making me think of like giving somebody a massage to release any physical tension in their body, and to let them know, like if you feel grateful for them, and to them to let them know that you do feel this gratitude. I feel like it will be of so much help, because oftentimes we forget to do that. We forget to tell our loved ones that we're grateful for them, that we're so thankful for them and to them, and that we love them. And acknowledging those kind of things and saying them aloud could really go a long way. And maybe it's possible that if it's you who's the breadwinner, who works very hard, or who's been stressed out about school or work, you will be receiving that kind of encouragement, the kind of support or reminder sometime in the first half of 2025. And know you are working very hard and you're doing your very, very best, okay? And you've done so much already. I know that things will look up if things haven't been going so well financially, or in terms to like work situation or school, things will be looking up. What just came through is you will be receiving your fair share, or you will be receiving the inheritance. So if some of you have been worried about that, just be reassured that you will, okay? But now I'm going to move on to your platonic relationships or friendships. And we have, wow, again, pentacles, coins. The two of coins in the upright with priorities, finding balance and managing resources. So it seems like a lot of you are either career focused, or you're focused on finances. You're focused on getting your financial situation in order. You could be focusing on school. But to clarify, we have Speak with Fire, Loud Expression, number 29, and the message, express your words with passion and intent. Your words are needed more than you know. Stay confident and clear and voice your authentic truth. Your voice has power to inspire and open people's minds. Don't hold back. So some of you may be a fire, sun, moon, or rising sign, or someone who is a fire, sun, moon, or rising sign may be playing a significant role in your friendships and or platonic relationships for the first half of 2025. But with the two of coins, like I said, I do see you focusing more on your personal matters, maybe paying certain debts, paying loans, or paying your bills. It seems like you're prioritizing other areas of your life, and for a lot of you, it could definitely be work, career, finances, or studies. But with finding balance, I feel like although this certain area of life that I just mentioned is asking more of your attention, you're still trying to do your very best to find balance between maybe work life and personal life, or your friendships, your platonic relationships, which is quite admirable, because I'm not quite sure what your specific situation may be for the first half of 2025 or currently, yet I feel like you might be dealing with a lot, or you might be quite busy, or there is important matters to attend to. And yet, you're still finding the time to get in touch with loved ones. You're still finding the time to keep the fire of your relationships alive and thriving. And that takes a lot of energy. But it could also be that it is through your relationships, your friendships, that you're finding the strength to deal with whatever it is that you're dealing with, or the strength, the energy that you need to face another day at work, or to just keep doing what it is that you're doing. You know, this makes me think of like if you're a student, finding a study buddy so that when it's time to study for an important exam, you're there to encourage and motivate one another, you know, fuel each other's passionate flame to keep going and excel, ace that exam. So that could be the case here, because with the number 2, it's making me think of partnerships. But what else is coming through is if, for example, at some point in the first half of 2025, you don't have the time to maybe hang out, or maybe you are trying to save for something, you are trying to be a little bit more resourceful or budget, but your friends are asking you to accompany them to go out to eat, or to go to places where you know money will be spent, then instead of being pressured by your friends or people you are in a platonic relationship to actually go out or spend money that you don't want to spend, or maybe that you can't spend at that time, you're speaking up, you're letting them know, no, I can't, maybe some other time, or I have an exam coming up and I'd rather be studying for my exam, and so forth. And again, not letting any kind of peer pressure persuade you to move in a direction that you're never planning to, or you're not okay with, or wouldn't help you in your current situation. Yeah, because I speak of with fires making me think of placing your boundaries if that is needed, or just letting others know I can't, or saying no to someone. Some of you could also be reaching out to friends or to people you have platonic relationship with for some kind of maybe advice or for assistance. Yeah, because there's something here about don't hesitate to reach out or to ask for help or to ask for guidance, advice, or references. I'm not sure if this will resonate with anybody, but I am sensing a situation in which someone is kind of giving another a reality check, being a bit of a realist with another who doesn't really understand the situation that someone is living or experiencing. So for example, person A is a student who is also working a part-time job, and person B, a colleague of theirs, is a full-time student who often invites person A out to hang out or to go to parties or events and so forth. And person A is always declining because they have to go to work, or because if they're not working, then they're studying, right? And person B, instead of comprehending their situation, that they're working to collect money to pay for their education, they misjudge them and think that person A is just a prune who doesn't like to loosen up and have fun. Because person B isn't in that kind of situation where they have to worry about having the money to pay for their education. They're pretty much set. And so person A at one point kind of gives person B a look into their situation, kind of reminds them that not everyone has similar privileges, or not everyone is in the same situation. Some people have to put a little bit more time and effort to have certain advantages in life, or to have an education, for example. So that's just an example to kind of illustrate what may be going on here. But I do get this feeling of somebody reminding another, hey, not everyone has certain advantages, not everybody has the same privileges. So there could be that kind of conversation, because Speak with Fire is making me think of like a very raw conversation with another. It's kind of like getting real and honest with another, not hiding anything, not sugarcoating anything. So that could be a situation that may be occurring at some point in the first half of 2025. And maybe it's not just one person being very vulnerable and raw with another, but it's two people or more than two people kind of sharing their situation and letting others know, like, hey, this is the reason why I behave this way. This is the reason why I'm so focused on that. This is the reason why I'm so working so hard on this. And that kind of awakening the others to like other kinds of situations, or what other people can or do go through, or even the passion, the passion and the strength and the will that their friends have. Because now Speak with Fire is making me think of admiration, like, wow, I didn't know that you were going through that, or I didn't know that you were going to school and also working a part-time job, or I didn't know that you were working 2 jobs to pay for this, or I didn't know that although you were going through that, you still made time to come and meet me and see me. Like, thank you so much for that. Or I admire your courage. I admire your tenacity. I admire your will. I have so much admiration for you. Or I'm grateful that you shared this with me. That's kind of the energy I'm sensing here. And with the 2 of coins, it could be that you and a friend might be helping each other out in some way. You might be sharing certain responsibilities. Maybe that's something some of you will have a conversation about, because now the example that is coming to mind is of roommates who are having a conversation about how to split certain responsibilities, how to split the chores, how to split the bill so that it's all fair, or how to help each other out if one of them is going through a rough patch or needs a little bit of help or assistance. Like, I'll take on this responsibility while you're studying for your exam so you have more time to study for your exam. Something along those lines. That could be the case for some of you. And I do get this feeling that some of you could be talking with someone who might owe you money. You could be reminding them to pay or something along those lines. Or if somebody comes back asking for more money, but they owe you a lot of money, then you could be putting your foot down. Because again, the Speak with Fire card is reminding me of boundaries, right? Also learning to say no. So that could be the case for some of you. But when it comes to your professional relationships, relationship with colleagues, co-workers, with supervisors, higher ups, customers, clients, patients, etc. We have the 7 of coins in the upright with persistence, manifesting ideas, and hard work pays off. So this is kind of a good card to receive for like professional relationships or professional situations, because the 7 of coins has this energy of professionalism. I don't know why, it just made me think of that. And as the card says, it often does indicate hard work paying off. And we literally have someone here in the illustration climbing a ladder, which is making me think of either climbing the social ladder or the corporate ladder. And again, pentacles. All of these cards so far have been pentacles. So there seems to be a lot of focus on career, a financial situation, maybe education, higher learning. So this first half of 2025, I do see you working hard or dedicating a lot of your time to leveling up in your career or to obtain more job or financial opportunities. The 7 of coins is making me think of someone who is wanting to get promoted, someone who is wanting to get a full-time position at a company or at a job. And they're doing their very best to achieve this kind of goal. So that could be the case for a lot of you. But we also have sexual with passion and the message, embrace that part of you that society can sometimes suppress. Engage in X or watch it for feelings of desire and excitement. Sex is so beautifully part of our existence. So again, we have more passionate energy here. So I sense that this first half of 2025, you're really set on something. And when it comes to your professional relationships, there's this feeling of you're a force to be reckoned with. So you could be showing up at your workplace or at a work situation a little bit differently at some point in the first half of 2025. There's this feeling of not giving up and not settling for less or not compromising. So you could be in this overachiever mindset, yet with passion, it seems like you're showing your colleagues or your coworkers a new side of you, one that is maybe a little bit more outspoken. This is a very interesting energy because it's giving me a little bit of a competitive vibe, but it's not that exactly. It's more of a I won't be pushed down or I will not remain in the shadows kind of thing. Yeah, maybe it's literally something like climbing to the top. You know, not settling for a position just because someone told you to settle for it. It's like, no, I want more and I'm aiming for more. Kind of that same vibe as the 10 of coins. Yeah, and this message here is really standing out to me. Embrace that part of you that society can sometimes suppress. So it's like you're not allowing yourself to be shut down, maybe by higher ups, maybe by people who act like they are higher than you in some way. The expression "in it to win it" just came to mind. So that could be the mindset that you will be in at some point in the first half of 2025. So maybe at your workplace, you're speaking up, right? You're speaking up a little bit more. You're not keeping silent about certain things that you see to be unfair or that you know are unfair. It's kind of like you're letting your coworkers, your colleagues, maybe your classmates know that you do know what you're doing, that you are aware of a situation, that you're not blinded to what is happening. Again, that you are a force to be reckoned with. I don't know, but the example that is coming to mind, and this is just an example again, is of an actor and actress that auditions for a role that they know will allow for them to show their talents. And once they get this role, they take it very, very seriously and give it their all, so that they remind the audience, the public, and their colleagues that they're not just a public figure, they're not just a celebrity, they are an actor, they are an actress, and they can act. That's the feeling I get here. And the message that came through or came to mind was, I'm not here to get pushed around. I'm here to level up. Which is why I mentioned competition, because there's this feeling of maybe at some point people didn't really see you as a worthy competitor, but this first half of 2025, you're showing them that you are indeed a worthy competitor. Like, you're someone to look out for because you're going hard. That's the feeling I get here. You're aiming for your prize and you're set on getting it. So when it comes to your professional relationships, you could be showing a bit of a more professional side to you. And this is not to say that you weren't professional before, because I feel like you are someone who is very professional, has amazing work ethic, is hardworking. I feel it's more like maybe you're placing stronger boundaries, because again, there's this feeling of not standing by. So it may be that you're speaking up more, right? You're being more assertive. So you're continuing to be professional, yet you're adding assertion to it, being more assertive, standing up for yourself, standing your ground, letting others know, I'm also part of this meeting, I'm also here in the meeting room. I can also do this, or I have been doing this. This has been my role. Yeah, because I sense that a lot of your coworkers or colleagues are going to see you as quite passionate, goal-driven, and as someone to take seriously. Oh, that's the feeling. Maybe it wasn't correct for me to say seeing you as a worthy competitor, but rather it was more like they're seeing you as someone to take seriously. Another thing I can say about this energy is you're not dimming your light for anyone. This first half of 2025, you're allowing yourself to shine bright, and a lot of you could actually be practicing some of your skills on the down low, because I'm also getting a bit of an underdog vibe here. Like, no one saw you coming, and then all of a sudden you surprise everyone. Because either you kept your skills hidden because you were planning to reveal them just at the right time, at the right moment. And so that surprises everybody, and that allows you some kind of advantage. Or you're brushing up on your skills on the side. Because there's something here about, although you're coming through very strong, you're not purposefully calling attention to you. It's not about drama. It's not about being the one at the top or trying to prove anything to anyone. It's more about you have this goal and you're set on accomplishing it, and you're set on not getting lost in the crowd is the feeling I'm getting. Yeah, so as mentioned previously, a lot of you could actually be prioritizing studies or work a lot. And so because of that, you might not be so preoccupied with making friends at work or meeting your coworkers or colleagues outside of work or school hours. Like, all the time that you have, you're investing on achieving your own goals, on focusing on your role, on keeping it professional, and so forth. You're showing others that you mean business is what I want to get at. And that you do have a voice. And that you do have maybe a lot of ideas, a lot to say, a lot to share. There's this feeling of you collecting your just rewards. I don't know what that may be about. The number 45 could be of significance. Or 4 and 5, 54. And actually, with passion, during the first half of 2025, you might not be the only one who is super passionate about achieving some kind of goal. Maybe there's quite a few people who are aiming for the same goal. Maybe this is a situation in which everybody is aiming to get a certain position, get a certain opportunity. It's making me think of like several people going to the same interview for the same job sort of situation, or everyone is aware that there is an opening for a position and everybody is wanting to get promoted to that position. And so everybody's doing their best, putting their best foot forward sort of thing. But I do see you having a very special kind of drive this first half of 2025. And with the 7 of Coins, it's very, very likely that you will be seeing some kind of development or progress in your financial, job, career situation. And will be showing a new side of you in a work environment or to your colleagues, to your coworkers. One that is passionate, driven, assertive, and maybe even serious. Okay. But now I'm going to pull out a card for your romantic love life. Ooh. And we have the 7 of Wands in the reversal with surrender, lack of courage, and folding on your beliefs. Interesting. So another 7. The number 7 could be of significance, or 77. You may be seeing a lot of repeated 7s throughout the first half of 2025. It's interesting because the 7th month comes right after June, and I did mention June, so maybe something new will be commencing starting on the month of July, or gaining momentum at some point in the month of July. But I'm going to pull out 2 clarifiers. The first clarifier will offer messages to those of you who are currently in a relationship, and the second clarifier will offer information to those who are single. So the first card will be giving us info about those who are currently in a relationship or who are dating. And we have sacrifice with compromise, and the message, there may be something in need of sacrificing to gain better balance in your life. And we have the number 39. So this first half of 2025, there may be some compromising in your relationship. So I did speak about how a lot of you may be focusing a lot on career, finances, higher learning, and so forth. And so if that is resonating with you, you may be paying more attention to this area of life rather than your romantic relationship, or your significant other might feel like there is an imbalance where you may be focusing too much on this area of life and not on your relationship with them or on them. But with sacrifice, I do get this feeling that someone is being very understanding. There's this feeling of giving in, like they're not fighting against what is going on. Instead, they are being very comprehending about the whole situation. So for example, let's say person A is at a very pivotal point in their career, or at some point in the first half of 2025, person A has a very important interview or a very important exam. And so instead of person B, their significant other, complaining about how person A is not really spending any time on them or not paying any attention to them, they are understanding that person A is focusing a lot on either their work, their career, or on studying because they are wanting to ace their exam, because they are wanting to pass that interview, because this is a very pivotal and important time in their career. Right? They're being very supportive and understanding of it all. And yeah, I did speak about how some of you could be getting some kind of encouragement, some kind of reassurance from a loved one. And for a lot of you, that could be your spouse if you're married, or your significant other. But with sacrifice, there's kind of this heads up of if someone is being very understanding and accommodating to your current needs, to not take advantage of that, right? Because although someone in the relationship might be very supportive of the other, that doesn't mean that the one who is being supportive doesn't have needs, right? And is okay with not being prioritized from time to time. So it's kind of this feeling of understanding how someone else is being understanding of your situation. So that's just something to keep in mind. And I do get this feeling that some of you might actually be thinking about your priorities not only for the first half of 2025, but more like for this chapter of your life, for this phase of your journey. So if you are currently in a relationship, you could be, and I'm not saying that this is what you should do. That's not at all what I'm getting at. What I'm about to say, it's more so what I'm picking up on, which is that some of you could actually be contemplating on letting go of a connection because you might come to the conclusion or decision that right now you're not really available to focus on romance or to focus on another or to focus on a romantic relationship. Because I am seeing a lot of focus being placed on like work and studies and achieving goals or on improving a financial situation, etc. But only take that which resonates. Because I don't necessarily feel that if you were to, let's say, end a relationship, you would be gaining better balance in your life. What I sense is that if you were to end, let's say, a romantic relationship, what would be occurring is that you will simply be replacing this relationship with work, for example, with more time to study, with more time to focus on this area of life I've been mentioning. So that's just something to keep in mind, because that doesn't necessarily talk about balance. It's more like, now I have more time for this, right? But yeah, for others of you, I do feel like there's some kind of team effort going on in the first half of 2025. Your partner being very supportive of you, or maybe you being very supportive of your partner. Maybe both of you are at this moment in your journeys focusing on achieving some kind of goal, and you're being there for one another, being very understanding of your current situations. And sacrificing could be talking about something like maybe sacrificing date nights or sacrificing little getaways, or maybe certain luxuries that you both shared. Because, for example, let's say if you live together and both of you are doing your best to save or budget or pay the bills, then you could be reducing certain costs. So one of you might be sacrificing a subscription to a specific account, like a streaming service, while the other of you might be sacrificing buying coffees at a coffee shop, right? To save money, or to have enough money to pay the bills, or to pay your higher education. That's just an example that came to mind. But again, I do get this feeling of a team effort, or maybe that's the advice for the first half of 2025, that maybe during this time, a team effort between you and your significant other is required, like working together, helping each other out, that sort of thing. And look, I was about to shuffle the deck, and this card was the only one that was facing up, and we have balance. So this energy of balance, once again, we have scales here, and then the seesaw. So I think it's about balance, finding a nice middle ground, being understanding of one another, or cooperating. There's something here about being cooperative. Yeah, we have here level-headed and thoughtful. I'm going to read the message just in case it's of significance for some of you, but I'm going to put this card back into the deck. And we have, you're finding more and more balance in life. You are understanding how to use thought rationally without drama needed. This sane thought process is leaving you balance in daily activities. Continue this confidence and positivity so other balanced energies can seek you out. Yeah, so maybe one of the lessons for this first half of 2025 is finding a little bit of balance, right? Not getting so caught up on achieving goals or putting too much pressure on yourself, maybe even giving yourself unrealistic expectations, but rather understanding that maybe there will be times in which you might need to focus more on certain areas of life, but keeping in mind that focusing solely on one area of life can result in some kind of imbalance, or us forgetting that we can experience joy and fulfillment in other areas of life, because not everything lies in only one area of life, in only one department. This could also be a reminder to you that if your partner has been very supportive of you, to let them know that you are grateful for them and for their understanding. Because again, recognizing these things, I think it goes a long way, especially in relationships. Yeah, just letting your partner know, I see you. I see how much you're helping me. I see what you've been doing for me or for our relationship. I see you and I'm grateful for you. And know that I'm here for you. Also reminding them that it doesn't go one way, right? That it's a reciprocal energy. You're here for them as well. Because a relationship, a partnership involves two people. It's not just about one person. Okay, but now I'm going to pull out a card to get messages for those of you who are currently single. And we have taste with indulge, the number 33, and the message, use your tongue to taste all that it can taste. Your taste buds may be extra heightened right now. Try new spices or flavors that entice you. There may also be an energy around you that knows how to indulge. Okay, so for those of you who are single, I don't necessarily see you entering into any kind of committed relationship during the first half of 2025. What I do see is a possibility of you dating, meeting new people. For those of you who are interested or looking for short-term relationships or more like flings, I do see that being a possibility, because with surrender, there's something here about surrendering to your senses. So this could be more about like dating around or connecting with people for one night sort of thing. Only take the following if it resonates, right? Because it won't be for everyone. But I am seeing like physical intimacy. So a lot of you could be exploring or experiencing more of that, but without the whole commitment thing. The expression no strings attached just came to mind. Or there could be someone who maybe you're more so getting involved with them to appease some kind of physical desire, but there's really no strings attached, and you and this person are very well aware of that. Interesting that these messages are coming up, because they usually don't come up in my general reading, so excuse me if I'm a bit awkward when talking about them, but expressions such as hooking up and one night stands are coming to mind. And again, only take that if it resonates with you, because if that's not something that you're into or would like to engage in, then this message is most likely not for you. Because something else that is coming through is that you could be just going on dates. You could just be meeting people, like getting to know people. There's this feeling of testing waters, sort of like I'm starting a conversation with this new person because I want to see if there's some like synergy, if there's some kind of spark, or if we're compatible, if we have a common interest, and so forth. So that could be the case for a lot of you, which is something interesting. You could be at some point deciding to go back into the dating scene or to try it out for the first time. Maybe some of you have never dated or gone on dates, or maybe gone on blind dates, because with taste, there's this feeling of trying something new, like giving something a go, giving something a chance. So for example, if you've never gone on a dating app, maybe at some point in the first half of 2025, you're trying it out. And again, there's this feeling of just trying it out. Maybe not getting really invested in it or involved in it, but just giving it a try. More like, yeah, like tasting it, you know? Like we literally have this depiction of someone tasting a lollipop. Like you're giving it a taste just to see if it suits your taste buds. And if it doesn't, then you're leaving it, right? You're not forcing it. If it doesn't feel right, if you don't like it, then you're letting it go, you're letting it be. But it could also be the other way around, where if you're really liking it, I see you kind of giving into it. That's the feeling I get with the Seven of Wands and the reversal. And so there's just something here about, protecting yourself in the first half of 2025, because I am getting a bit of a high-strung energy. And so some of you could be looking for ways to relax or release any kind of tension or frustration. And so there's just something here about being mindful as to what you're doing to release this frustration, not getting caught up in something that you wouldn't normally do or that you wouldn't be okay with, like being very aware of your actions in the first half of 2025. Yeah, because this expression here, folding on your belief, is really standing out to me, because it's making me think of someone who is going against their core beliefs. Because what is coming through is someone resorting to physical intimacy in order to release tension, or to maybe forget about certain things, or to escape for a little while, like get out of their head perhaps. So I'm not quite sure if that might be the case for some of you. Yeah, so maybe that's just something to look out for. And I only say that because I'm not sure if this is something that some of you would like to make a habit, because with number 33, the number 3 being repeated twice makes me think of something repetitive, and the more we repeat something or the more we resort to something, it can end up becoming either a habit or a coping mechanism, and we have to be very careful as to see whether this habit is actually conducive to our overall well-being, our betterment, or if this coping mechanism is actually of help or is just resulting in us staying in some kind of loop, right? In some kind of cycle that isn't really serving us. So that's just something to keep in mind for the first half of 2025. Yes, but the number 33, the number 3, repeated 3s could be of significance. But now I'm going to move on to the last segment of this reading, where I'm going to be pulling out extra oracle cards for each relationship type to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance. Yet, if you would like to receive a direct message from the higher self of someone who you are in a relationship with, then you could set the intention to do so. So, for example, as I'm shuffling the deck to pull out a card for your familial relationships, you may set the intention to receive a message from the higher self of a family member of yours. For like romantic love, you could set the intention to receive a message from the higher self of someone who you are currently romantically involved with or seeing, etc. Okay? So I will begin by pulling out a card for your familiar relationships. And the card that fell out is Rebirth, with remember, you have the capacity to choose. Choose life, choose love, choose health, choose happiness. You get to decide what to focus on, what to prioritize, what you choose to be your priority in life. Okay? And rebirth is making me think of some kind of new beginning. It's like you're being given another chance, a second chance, another go. But now I'm going to move on to your platonic relationships and or friendships. Oh, sorry. I just noticed something in the rebirth card. Okay, I guess I need to address that first. So this character in the rebirth card is reminding me a lot of a fairy godmother, or the fairy godmother that comes out in the animated movie Cinderella. And so this is making me think of a wish fulfillment. So it seems like a wish of yours will definitely be granted in the first half of 2025, pertaining to a family situation, family business, family matters, or a financial situation. Okay, but now let me pull out a card for your platonic relationships or friendships. And we have timing, with life is too short to miss out on being really happy. Kiss slowly, laugh insanely, love truly, and forgive quickly. Okay. I don't feel I need to add any more to that message. So now I'm going to move on to your professional relationships. I think these are crooked. And we have fertility, with the fertility cycle is a cycle entirely of living creatures passing again through birth, growth, maturity, death, and decay. This message made me think, or reminded me of the Wheel of Fortune in Tarot, which speaks of cycles and of how there's ups and downs and how everybody gets a turn to be at a certain position or to take on a certain role. Something along those lines. Okay, but now I'm going to move on to your romantic love life. And we have clarity, with the space between your thoughts is a window to the cosmic mind. Ooh. And we also have quest, with the spiritual quest begins for most people as a search for meaning. Interesting. And what I also find interesting is that in this clarity card, we actually have a couple, and both of them are wearing a crown. So this makes me think of a power couple. Yeah, I was talking about like a team effort, collaborating, cooperating with your significant other. Yeah, so maybe that's what it's hinting at. If you decide to work with your partner, you will end up being a power couple, unstoppable together. Okay, but now what is coming through for those of you who are single? This first half of 2025, you could be surrendering to the feelings that you have for someone. Maybe you have been trying to avoid how you feel about someone. This first half of 2025, you're coming to terms that you feel this certain way, or you're getting clear about how you do feel about someone in your life. And there could be something, there could be like some kind of experience that will be occurring between you and said person, or just someone in your life, that will awaken certain feelings that have been repressed, or that will have you realizing that there is something here between you and this person. And the example that is coming to mind, and this is just an example, is you share a kiss, or maybe it's more like you share an embrace, and that's when you realize, oh, I have romantic feelings for this person, or I would actually like to explore more of this with this person. Yeah, so that could be the case for some of you. And actually in this clarity card, it looks like it's two people of the same sex. So for some of you, this could be about a same-sex relationship. Oh, and with quest, some of you could be going through some kind of sexual awakening. Maybe an experience that you will have sometime in the first half of 2025 will have you looking more into maybe your sexual preferences, or what you would like in a romantic relationship, whether you are interested in romance, in romantic relationships, in physical intimacy, for example. Yeah, because some of you could identify as being aromantic, is that how it's pronounced? Or asexual. Okay, but again, only take that which resonates. Not every message that is said in a general reading has to apply to you or to your situation. Okay, but things I want to point out before I end your reading: the zodiac sign Libra could be of significance, or just scales maybe of importance. We also have candy. Some of you could have quite a bit of a sweet tooth, or you could be indulging in a lot of sweets in the first half of 2025, or just craving them. The element of fire could be of significance as well. And I'm also seeing like spirals or swirls, as well as stars, or the shape of a star. Star-shaped things could be of importance. And the flower lily is also coming through, or the name Lily. And you might be seeing a lot of angel numbers, repeating numbers, or the same number sequences might be popping up quite a bit throughout the first half of 2025. Yeah, but these are all the messages that are coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. And to all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to your spirit team, my spirit guides, and to the higher self of all those who came through to help deliver these messages to you, for assisting me with this reading. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful first half of 2025. And until the next moment, bye bye.